I love it. Is there an ambulance out there? Anyway, what's up? It's Monday. Monday. It's Monday. Welcome to the Dreaded Conservative Show, ladies and gentlemen. Who's here? Seasal here. What up, Seasal? Oh, nobody's here. All right, let's get this show started. What we got today? Trump indicted again. We got new Trump indictments. We got Kamala first interview. I haven't even watched it yet. I've seen some people talking about it, and so we're gonna do a live reaction to it here. But I heard she talked for 16 minutes, but the video I have is only 8 minutes. Where's my soundboard? Also, it's been a while. It's been a while since I seen the way candle light your face. It's been a while. It's been the same amount of time as every week. What are you talking about? Trump indictment, Kamala interview on CNN. We'll watch that. I haven't watched it yet, so hopefully it's the full thing that I got. And then we got Zuckerberg's letter to Jim Jordan, one of my favorite senators or congressmen. Zuckerberg's letter to Jim Jordan. We talked about it in the either the snore stream or the after party last week, but I'm gonna read more into it this week. So we'll find out about all that. Turns out your conspiracy theorist friend. What the? Yeah, why? Have you been working out? She sounds working out. She's getting strong. What the heck was I just about to say? What the heck was I just about to say? Oh, Republican. Your local conspiracy theorist friend was right again. They were trying to affect an election using social media, as if we didn't already know that, but we've been known that. But first, I got to get my soundboard up. I'm slacking. Telegram is on my computer. I didn't know. Yeah, I do know. I put it on here. I put it on here when I was trying to get on Slightly Offensive once. He was doing call-ins from Telegram. Go to audio settings. Ooh, ooh. Check. Whoa. Oh, that was the voice changer. What am I looking for? All right, let's get this show on the road. Oh. Stop. I don't know. This is sloppy, guys. The green background. After we do main story news, memes, reels, rapid fire, we're going to do a long segment on the simulation hypothesis. I don't know if I've done a simulation theory episode. It's not really a theory. It's just a hypothesis because it's never been proven and it can't be proven. So it's the simulation hypothesis, not simulation theory, which is what a lot of people call it. But I love simulation theory, and I think I've done an episode about simulation theory before, but either it got taken down or I couldn't find it on my YouTube. But we got like 120 episodes, so I just feel like I remember using the Matrix letters in my thumbnail before. So I feel like I may have done an episode on simulation theory before, but why not do it again? They had a Timcast episode, and they had this simulation theory guy who wrote a book um, about the simulation and AI debating with a Christian guy. And maybe we'll watch that in the after party because it's pretty good. Some interesting things, and I've always thought simulation theory was cool. Um, we've talked about multiverses before and the double slit experiment and things like that. So we'll kind of get into that stuff again tonight a little bit with the simulation. what's it called, observer's perspective. And what up, Amanda? Is the soundboard working?
Beta!
You're not a beta. I'm just testing the soundboard. Okay, cool. Let's put this over here. But first, I gotta mention it at least once, at least a little bit. It's not in the thumbnail. It's not in anything like that. Today is Commie Day. Happy Commie Day. I hope you're not a commie. I hope you're not a commie. Don't celebrate Commie Day. You know, make yourself your little barbecue with your family if you got the day off of work. But I did not. I'm not taking the day off work. We've done the show. This is our third Commie Day doing the show. Did you know that? Third Commie Day doing the show. And it's a Monday night show. So all the Monday holidays, we doing the show. We doing the show. Let me take a sip of my coffee. This is coffee with Snickers flavored cream. Snickers flavored cream. I like it a Snickers flavored cream. Let me share this out because it ain't been shared yet. Share it out. Share it out. Take a moment to share this somewhere. Let me put it in the Discord. How's everybody's week going? How's everybody's week going? We went on a Unique Prepping's show last week. That was pretty good. That was fun. Let's put it in my Discord. Me and Buff talking about morals and values. I played it nice. I didn't want to get in an argument with Buff. But everybody knows you can't have morals and values without God. What the? Oh, you guys can see my Discord right now? My bad. Let's see. Nice. Amanda shared it. Thank you, Amanda. Have we done simulation theory before? I don't know. I searched my channel and I didn't see it. I didn't see anything on simulation theory. On my channel. I feel like we had to have talked about it before, but it should be fun. Well, I'm going to check out the paper this guy wrote. We're probably not going to read the whole thing because it's pretty long, but never want to complain because it can always be worse. Yes, it can always be worse. I don't know. Yeah, it can. It can always be worse. You're right. Because every time I thought I was at rock bottom, it always got worse. But then I think I did get to a rock bottom, but it could have got worse. You know, it could have. It could have been worse. I never got stabbed. I've never been stabbed before. Interesting that the simulation theory guy basically said the same thing I do about the soul, huh? No, he says what I say about the soul. He says the AI could kill everybody, and it doesn't need a soul because everything in your brain a computer can recreate and do it better than you do. What are you talking about? He says the same thing I say. Anyway, no, the soul doesn't matter to being able to go crazy and take over the world. You don't that soul doesn't matter. A computer program could do that. Anyway, yeah. I have the yeah, the AI will never have a soul. That's what I said. But I said you don't need a soul to have consciousness and sentience. You just need a mind. And a mind, your mind is not your soul. Anyway, we'll get into that later. And I know Nada's going to be pissed. Nada's going to be pissed. Even though we're not talking about AI, but it will tie in with AI. To some degree, AI is relevant with the simulation theory stuff. Yeah, what are you talking about, Nada? You're saying your argument is AI is not a threat. It's just like a toaster. That's your argument. Since it can't have a soul, it could never take over and be self actualized and start learning on its own and gain power. The whole idea of simulation theory, one of the ideas is that AI does take over and make layer upon layer, and that we're not in base reality because I think you might need to rewatch it. I watched it like 3 times already, dude. And we're gonna play it during the stream. He said is 99.9% sure that within the next 100 years, AI would destroy humanity. That's what he said. I read his paper. I have his paper saved right here. Anyway, we'll get into that later. You need to calm down, bro. You need to calm down. Okay. Um, Labor Day. It's Commie Day. Happy Commie Day, guys. This is our third Labor Day, so I've went in depth, went into detail. Lex Friedman seems invested in creating an AI wife. Yeah, I think I have. I don't remember if I saved it, but I watched some of Lex's stuff too. Lex interviewed the same guy that Tim Pool had on the other night. The same doctor that wrote the paper that we're gonna talk about him. What's his name? Let me see. Let me see if I have it. I don't have his name here. How to Hack the Simulation is the name of his paper that he wrote. That he talked about it. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Um, Labor Day, September 2nd this year. It's not just a day for barbecues and cookouts and nice things like that. Um, Labor Day was started by the Labor Party. May Day. May Day. It's called May Day. Let me read this. What's the history of Labor Day? There are competing theories about the origins of Labor Day. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, Peter J. McGuire, creator of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, and with Samuel Gompers, co-founder of the American Federation of Labor, is often credited with proposing a holiday honoring the working man. At the gathering of the New York Central Labor Union on May 12th, 1882, May Day, they threw a riot. The point is, held in September, the celebration would include a street parade and a picnic that would publicly show the strength and esprit de corps of the trade and labor organizations. Esprit de corps. What does that mean? Spirit of the corporation? As industrialization had swept through the 19th century, many workers protested against lost wages, long hours, and dangerous working conditions. Anyway, point is, this is why we have workers' unions and minimum wage and age limitations and hour limitations on a week and all these things that are all communist, by the way. You should be able to work as many hours as you want. You should be able to work as young as you want, and they should be able to pay you whatever they want. And if you don't like it, go get a different job. That's free market capitalism. And the guy that pays $1, he goes out of business because the guy across the street pays $5. Or the guy who pays you $1, but you really don't learn how to do good work, stays open. And what happens is you get a job there until you're good enough to use it. You use his tools and things like that. You're not getting paid a lot. It's almost like an internship. And then you go across the street to the guy that pays $5 an hour. You get better there. And then you get to go down to the city where the guy pays $10 an hour and you work there. And then pretty soon you get to move up to a giant corporation where they're paying you $30 an hour. You see, that's how it works. That's how it works. But for the most part, the guy who's paying his employees $1 an hour is not making very much money because nobody wants garbage, low quality things. So he might go out of business if he's not paying his people enough. But anyway, we had May Day. They had a riot in Chicago. Chicago or New York? I always forget. Look, there's a picture. It's New York City first Labor Day parade, but the parade is not the riot. So this is another one of those commie holidays where they threw a riot. They threw a riot. Why is this one? This article is not talking about it. The history of Labor Day. First Labor Day parade. I don't care about the Labor Day parade. The roots of Labor Day grew out of violent clashes between labor and police during the Haymarket riot in 1886, when thousands of workers in Chicago took to the streets to demand an 8-hour workday. The Haymarket riot. And if you remember, they threw BLM riots all over the country, and they gave them Juneteenth. They gave them a day off for Juneteenth. They threw they had a riot in a city because some cops killed some guys at a gay bar in Arkansas. You know, you know how that goes. They weren't supposed to be having a gay bar, but they set up a secret gay bar, so they were breaking the law. Whoa, what was that? They were breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. And then they had a riot when the cops came in and arrested the people. So they threw a riot. So they got another holiday for that. Which holiday is that? I've talked about it recently. Um, that's another one of those holidays. What else? There's Juneteenth. Oh, that's why we have Pride Month. So the whole Pride Month is because of a riot. Juneteenth is because of a riot. Labor Day is because of a riot. And there's other examples too where they have a riot and then they get like a special day. This is what commies do. This is what commies do. And they mess up our economy. So Labor Day is a communist holiday. We don't celebrate that garbage around here. What up, B Wise? What up, B Wise? All right. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the election news, politic news of the week. We're getting close. We're getting close to election time. They ruined my birthday month. What with Pride Month? Um, yeah, we got a lot of for a while. It's just gonna be Kamala and Trump in the main story news because it's getting close. It's getting close. I think we're less than 90 days away to election day. We're gonna be doing a 24-hour election day stream from noon on November 5th till noon on November 6th. We'll be streaming, and we're going to be keeping our eye on it. I'm going to download some of these election maps where you can fill out your own map. We'll try to predict how it's going with each state, keep our eyes on things if counting suddenly shuts down at, you know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and then we wake up the next morning and somebody won the election. Shocker. Huh. How did that happen? We'll keep our eyes on that on election day for 24 hours. Try to reach out to people to see if they want to, I don't know, if anybody wants to debate on election day about Kamala versus Kamala, Kamala on election day. But for now, we got Trump updates. We got Trump news. Trump's been indicted again. What is this, the fifth or sixth time now? Is this the fifth or sixth indictment for Trump? We got another one. Trump indicted again in federal election interference case following Supreme Court immunity ruling. The Supreme Court's decision last month barred the government from using certain official acts Trump had taken as president in its prosecution. This from NBC News. NBC Nightly News. I'd hate history or pride months in general. I'd rather call months by their actual names. I'd rather we didn't have a measurement of time. Wouldn't that be crazy? What if we didn't have months and weeks and days and minutes and seconds and hours? I guess you'd still just have like the sun. Everybody'd be a lot better at. You'd have like sundials. We just had no concept of time. In some multiverse, they don't have a concept of time. I think that would be pretty gangster. Pretty gangster. Let's read this from NBC News. about Trump's indictment. He's been indicted again. I think it's just they're like re-indicting him on the Jan 6 stuff in a different place or something like that. Let's read this from Washington. Former President Donald Trump. Donald Trump has once again been indicted over his efforts to overturn his 2020 presidential election loss. Oh, Destiny's loving this. Destiny's eating it up. I saw he was reading the documents on his channel. I don't want to read the documents. Document reading is boring. I do that in my free time. I don't like to bog you guys down with the document reading. What up, Robbie Downtown Brown? You know he loves Labor Day. He loves Labor Day. He's a damn man. He's a union man. He's a dang mailman. Robbie the mailman. I'm just kidding, Robbie. You get today off? You better get today off. The damn mail company, you know that they're getting Labor Day off. My union has been out of contract for over 2 years, but we can't strike. Who talks about striking? You shouldn't even talk like that. I get it. If you work for the union, you gotta play the union's games. The union wants to strike, we strike. My master say he's striking. I say, yes, sir, master, we striking. Battle of the Mind. What's up? Yeah, when we doing another Battle of the Mind, Robbie? What happened? What happened? AT&T is striking. Okay. What do you know about Trump's newest indictment? See, he's already been charged. This is so stupid, this January 6th stuff. Attack on the Capitol. A federal grand jury, I have something in my eye. A federal jury on Tuesday returned a superseding indictment that charges Trump with the same 4 counts he faced in the original indictment last August: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. What is this? The new indictment was returned following the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity last month, which barred the government from using certain official acts Trump took in his role as president in its prosecution. I have an eyelash stuck in my eye. The superseding indictment, which was presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in this case, reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holdings and remand instructions. Special counsel Jack Smith's office said in Tuesday's filing. Oh, here's the documents. Well, we got the documents, boys. Let me see these. Let me see these dang documents. How do I make it bigger? I know how to make it bigger for you guys, but how do I make it bigger so I can read it? That's tiny. That's so dang tiny. I ain't reading all that. How many pages is it? The conspiracy. The conspiracy from on or about November 13th through on or about January 20th in the District of Columbia and elsewhere, the defendant Donald J. Trump did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with co-conspirators known and unknown to the grand jury to defraud the United States by using dishonesty, fraud, and deceit to impair, obstruct, and defeat. Ooh, it rhymes. The lawful federal government function by which the results of the presidential election are collected, counted, and certified by the federal government. Purpose of conspiracy. The purpose of the conspiracy was to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 presidential election by using knowingly false claim of election fraud to obstruct the federal government function by which those results are collected, counted, and certified. I'm not going to read this all right now. We could read this later, though. Trump blasted the new indictment as shocking and a direct attack on democracy and a string of social media posts. The case has to do with conspiracy to obstruct the 2020 presidential election when they're the ones that did the obstructing of the election, not me, he wrote. The campaign also sent out a fundraising email within 2 hours of the filing. Says Trump was just indicted again and urging supporters to stand with Trump by donating. Stand with Trump. Donated it. Send him that money. He needs that money. It's Teflon Don. Off topic here, but when are you thinking of cutting the dreads? Probably next Monday. Look at this. Look. I got shampoo and conditioner. And I got, check this out. I got eyelash in my eyeball. It's freaking annoying me. This is a detangler spray. It's like an oily spray that you spray in your hair. And this is like the first hair products that I bought in years. And then look at this. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Boy got himself some scissors in this mug. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Now I just have to get mentally prepared. And then I have to, I got to take a picture. I got to take a picture because I'm going to recreate the Busta Rhymes picture when he cut his dreads for a thumbnail. And then we'll do it live. We'll do it in a stream after a Monday show. I could do it tonight, but the only problem is I need I need to get paid. So I get paid next week. That way I'll have a lot of money because I'm gonna go to a nice barbershop. I'm just gonna cut it off on stream, and then I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm gonna wash it, which will be this is a shampoo and conditioner. This is the first time I'll have used regular shampoo and conditioner in like 11 years or 12 years instead of using like weird residue free shampoo and conditioner. I'm going to cut it, then I'm going to run to the bathroom and I'm going to wash my hair and I'm going to spray this stuff in and then I'll come and comb out the knots. And then after I get all the knots combed out, I'm going to just like hit the sides with like a 5 guard and cut the top with scissors and try to leave as much hair as I can, but at least make it uniform so it doesn't look goofy during the stream. And then after the stream on Tuesday morning next week, I'll go to the barbershop over there at Trolley Square. And then Tuesday night, so Monday night stream, it'll get cut off and it'll look crazy. It's going to look crazy. There's going to be all different lengths and chunks and weird stuff. And then Tuesday night is when it'll all be faded and all that stuff. Like Sean Connery in the movie The Rock. Sean Connery in The Rock. Socks have an inherent design flaw. The seam is on the inside, so I must wear my socks inside out. Josh's about to look like a wholesome, upstanding white guy. I'm gonna look boring. I'm gonna need to get some sunglasses. I feel like I'm gonna need sunglasses. Mullet, do it. I had one last year. No, you know what I'm gonna do, Nada? I'm gonna cut the dreads off the side first and leave the ones on the top in the back. And then that way we could see what a drohawk looks like. A drohawk. And then I'm gonna cut the ones off the top and leave the ones in the back, and we'll see what a drollet looks like, a dread mullet, a drollet, and then I'll cut the ones off the back. Mullet, 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 mullet. I don't want a mullet. I don't want a mullet. You and Stubborn One have some crazy hair. Yeah, that top knot. Let's see what ABC is saying about Trump. Trump charged in superseding indictment and election interfering case following SCOTUS ruling. The new indictment adjusts the charges to the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. Special counsel Jack Smith has charged former President Donald Trump in a superseding indictment in his federal election interference case that charges him with the same offenses in the original indictment, but it's adjusted to the Supreme Court's recent presidential immunity ruling. So basically, he was already charged with this. It's not like a new indictment, but all the headlines say Trump indicted again, and it is a new technically it is a new indictment, but it's for charges that he's already been indicted for. They just kind of changed the wording and stuff around a little bit to get around the Supreme Court's ruling about presidential immunity. And I think Trump has requested that this be pushed off till after the election, and hopefully he wins the election. I don't know. It's looking like it's going to be a long shot, but hopefully he wins hopefully he wins the election. The superseding indictment, which was presented to a new grand jury that had not previously heard evidence in this case, reflects the government's efforts to respect and implement the Supreme Court's holdings and remand instructions. A Justice Department spokesperson said Tuesday Trump last August pleaded not guilty to federal charges of undertaking a criminal scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election to remain in power. Last month, in a blockbuster decision, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that Trump is entitled to immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts undertaken while in office and sent the case back to the trial court to sort out which of the charges against him can stand. In a separate filing Tuesday, the special counsel said he does not oppose waiving Trump's appearance for an arraignment on the superseding indictment. While the original indictment laid out 5 ways Trump allegedly obstructed the function of the federal government, having state election officials change electoral votes, arranging fraudulent states of electors, using the Department of Justice to conduct sham investigations, enlisting the vice president to obstruct the certification of the election. That's not illegal. He's allowed to do that. And exploiting the chaos of the January 6th riot. That's bullshit. The new indictment removes mention of his use of the Department of Justice, which was explicitly mentioned in the Supreme Court's rulings as falling within his official duties. So instead of basically 5 charges or 5 arguments, they had to cut it down to 4 arguments. And 2 of those are still bullshit. And the other ones are like, yeah, it's basically semantics. You're trying to, I mean, you can use the law against anybody. I gotta turn my air conditioner on. It's freaking hot in here. What are you talking about? Why are you talking about Sean Connery? Dang, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Okay. Woo. Hey, Freddie, just because I let you in my Discord last week doesn't mean that we're going to be doing that crap every week. It was funny, but sometimes I like having actual intelligent conversations with people. So that might be an occasional thing. Just so you know. Just FYI. Don't be getting too excited. So Trump, they trying to get the boy. You know how it goes. This is probably going to be more of the same, but this is from a more local news station, WUSA 90. Trump is accused of leading a conspiracy to unlawfully overturn the results of the 2020 election. Let's see if we can play this.
Our environment matters.
That's why we're announcing the WUSA 9 Eco Challenge.
As Washington Gas celebrates 100 and...
Hold on, this is an ad. This is a local TV station. Let's see what they're saying.
The news at noon begins with breaking news. It is good to be with you. I'm Simone D'Alba. About an hour and a half ago, the Supreme Court handed down a landmark decision on presidential immunity. Now, this is connected to former President Donald Trump and the election.
Okay, I think she's just going to say more of the same stuff that I already said. Dang it, now that song is stuck in my head. It's getting hot in her.
Interference case connected to January 6th. So let's break down the 3 things that you need to know about today's decision. First, the court ruled that presidents have some immunity, specifically from being prosecuted for official acts. Second, the court says presidents are not immune from being prosecuted for unofficial acts. Third, the case is now being sent back to the lower court. That court will determine which acts are official and which are unofficial. Our Melissa Kim is live outside of the Supreme Court.
All right. Oh, what up, Melissa Kim?
Court right now. And Melissa, give us a feel. Are there protesters out there? What do you see?
But their music's going to be whatever. It's news. Melissa's not that cute.
Yeah,
hi there, Simone. There is a small contingent of protesters here as well in front of the Supreme Court steps as well.
Bro, there's like 4 people there. There's like 3 people. These people, there's 4 people that work there, a camera crew, some security, and then there's like these 3 people. Poor kid.
A large contingent of international media to give you an idea of the scope and impact that the 6-3 decision will have for former presidents to have immunity from official acts that they partake in related to their core constitutional powers. But there is no immunity for unofficial acts, according to the court. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote in her dissent about the potential dangers that this decision has on the U.S. democracy, while former President Trump has maintained that he has absolute immunity.
Look at this kid in a Trump hat. Let's go.
The ruling does affect special counsel Jack Smith.
There were so many nobody was protesting outside. There was 3 people on a blanket. But when I got inside and I saw my loyal followers, I could barely move.
Prosecution of Trump for his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. And Simone, as you mentioned, the case now goes back down to the lower court.
Trump parts a Red Sea every time he walks up to the stage.
To determine what is an official act versus an unofficial act. But in the meantime, because of that and because of how late this decision came down, it is unlikely that the former president will now stand trial on those charges before the November election. We're live in front of the...
Got him. Catch you, bitch. What about that, Freddie? What about that? He ain't even gonna see no courtroom. That boy, he got a mugshot. He got felonies. He's more gangster than you, Freddie. All right. New York Times not going to let me read the article, but it's more stuff about Trump. Let's move on from that. I want to watch this interview, this Kamala interview. I heard it was bad. I saw a lot of it because I watched a body language expert doing analysis on it. And he said she looked nervous and unprepared. When she has a script, she can go out there and give her little speeches. They're powerful speeches. It's all political theater. It's all political theater. But when she's off script, it ain't no good. So let's watch this. Let me read. We'll read CNN's takeaways, key takeaways after we watch it. I don't know if this is the full thing because I thought I heard that she went for 16 minutes and this is only 8 minutes. So, but she had to bring Tim Waltz with her. I started calling him Waltz when I first saw his name, and then I heard everybody was saying Walls. And when I say Walls, I think of those sweet sugar walls. And I can't look at Tim Walz and think of sweet sugar walls. I think of nasty, scary, decrepit, spiderweb, dusty walls. He's hoping to pardon himself. So he can't pardon himself on state crimes, only the federal ones. But yeah, he should. That would be based. She had to take Walls. She had to take Walls to the interview with her on CNN. Dana Bash giving her some tough questions, and she kind of just dodged them a lot. And she looked nervous. She looked tired. She already looking tired and old. She might have some of that Alpha Brain Vitality Serum. Not the Alex Jones version, but the one you get from the babies. That CNN interview DNC campaign ad was sad. Walls looked worse than heels up. Worse than heels up? What's that mean? Like worse than dead? Let's watch this. Is it only 8 minutes or is this not the full thing? Whatever. We'll give it 8 minutes.
Much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You guys less time.
Seen this. You guys have probably seen this, but this is my first time watching it in its original form, in its base form.
To make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history.
Time to make your case.
The voters are really eager to hear.
What do you mean? She's been making her case for the past 4 years. She's the vice president.
What your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well,
nothing. Nothing. Take a nap like Joe did. That's her leader. That's who she's learned from. That's her example. So the body language guy is like, notice how she touches her face here. That's a sign of nervousness. Watch when she purses her lips at the end of sentences. That's a sign of dishonesty.
Number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my...
Look at the sullen look on her face. She doesn't look happy to be there. She doesn't look confident. She looks afraid, like the angel of darkness is creeping upon her. Stop being jealous. Am I jealous of Kamala? I don't want to be a politician. Unless I'm king. And if I was king, oh, I just can't wait to be king. You're going to be living with the hyenas.
Highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism.
Oh, please tell us about the strength through joy. Oh, did I send you guys? I put it on Twitter. I'll pull it up later. They have a new sign, a Kamala sign, and it says Crazy Cat Ladies for Kamala. And it actually has like a super cat on the sign. People have it in their front yard. It scares me. I never saw Biden flags. You know, remember when Biden ran? I drove across the country and me and Daddy Jub were counting all of the Trump flags. We didn't see not one dang Biden flag. I think we saw one Biden flag in the whole country. But now there's actually Kamala's flags. Like the base is hype. The base is hype for Kamala, and I'm a little worried. Not really worried. On the plus side, if Trump loses, then he's just going to run again, and we get 4 more years of Democrats freaking out and destroying the country. Maybe people will learn. We get the leaders we deserve.
I think sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Oh,
day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy.
An opportunity economy. How are you going to stop the division? By putting tampons in girls' bathrooms and turning America into little Somalia with your help of your friend Walsey over there?
I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda, too. As I said, the idea of inspiring.
Got to have your backup. Send the backup in.
America to what can be. And I think many of these things that the Vice President's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by 1/3. We did it in Minnesota. To have a federal partner in this, unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
None of the kids in Minnesota can read.
About, you call it the opportunity economy.
But they got tampons.
You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. Yeah. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters
go back? Can we please go back?
Who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
I'm going to put price control on the food.
So you think you know Wix?
I'm going to have price control bug bars. Price control bug bars. Why is this ad playing? Un momento, ladies and gentlemen.
Start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I
Whose
mean,
fault was
literally,
that?
we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy
Hundreds of
had
people
crashed.
die every day.
In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis.
Oh, shut up.
When
More people died after you guys came into office from COVID, dumbass.
we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the...
Right, 3% from a higher inflation. So that 3% is an even bigger number. 3% is fine, but not after it skyrockets. Fix that.
reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it. Which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to...
See, that's one of those tricks. America recovered faster than any wealthy nation, but there are nations that are wealthy and some that aren't so wealthy that didn't have to recover. So they just stayed doing fine. They didn't have to recover. We had to recover because of our bad policy leaders in America. That's why we had to recover. A lot of places didn't have to recover.
To bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging. What we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years. The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have...
SpongeBob. That's how you do a Kamala voice. It has to be kind of nasally. You know, we have to do the child tax credit. SpongeBob.
It's kind of like a Squidward voice.
Done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. Never happened. We did it. So now, He
did do it. You guys freaking executive ordered it away and then redid it again, liar.
Hey, Trump lies. He just lies so much.
Travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited. I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin. She's not doing that anymore.
You maintain Bidenomics.
Don't be lying to people. Out here lying. Hold on. Trump signs to reduce insulin. May 26, 2020. May 26, 2020, President Trump announces lower out-of-pocket insulin costs for Medicare seniors. Announced that over 1,750 standalone, this is from cms.gov, Part D prescription drug plans and Medicare Advantages with prescription drug coverage have applied for the lower insulin costs through the Part D senior savings model for the 2021 plan year. Across the nation, participating enhanced Part D prescription drug plans will provide Medicare beneficiaries across the broad set of insulins at a maximum $35 copay for a month's supply from the beginning of the year through the Part D coverage gap. This was in May of 2020. Was when this was going to go to effect for the model for the 2021 plan year. So he did this on his way out, and it went into effect after he was out of office, when they were in office. And he had already set this up. This is from cms.gov. Let's see, what other articles? National Archives.gov. President Donald J. Trump is reducing the cost of insulin and improving health care for our nation's seniors. That's May 26, 2020. The facts about the $35 insulin copay cap in Medicare. This is June 12th of 2024. So this is relating to Biden and Trump. Trump is wrong in claiming full credit for lowering insulin costs. Right, because he wasn't in office when it went into effect. Is that what they're going to say? Because Biden canceled it and then redid it. Imagine thinking supermarkets are at fault. Tell me you don't understand the supply chain without telling me you don't understand the supply chain. I don't think they understand much.
Is a success.
I maintain as much she was paying hundreds of dollars up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin. She's not doing that
So
any
you
longer.
maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down
leans
prescription
in.
medication for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000, when we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%, when we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America.
Who's
What we
working
have
at 'em?
done
Illegal
to
immigrants?
improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Now she
Do
wants
you
to
still
frack.
want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
They're just going to be fracking some kids up. Like button engaged. Thank you, Lord Spike. She just say infest instead of invest? I don't know. She might have said incest. Why must she speak ever?
2019, I believe,
So she's turning changing her stance. Now she wants to drill baby drill. She's taking some notes from Trump. And meanwhile, Trump is getting more kind of progressive. A lot of people are turning on him. The Groypers are turning on him. We cut child poverty by 50%. That doesn't even make sense to me, child poverty. Like, children are always impoverished. Like, children are always poor. They can't work. They don't have an income. Like, what kind of child? We have child labor laws. Thanks, commies. Thanks, Labor Day. It's your fault. Thanks, May Day, that these kids can't go to work and they're all in poverty. These kids need to get a dang job. Get a job. F those kids. KKK Kamala is the dirty side of the flip-flop. What?
at a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed.
Yeah, once they told me that I'm going to be the next president. By making me vice president, you're basically telling me I'm going to be the next president. So then we'll talk about fracking. Now all of a sudden we like fracking. What was I just saying about Trump? Oh yeah, a lot of people are turning on him because he's not going hard enough on abortion. They're saying he's pro-abortion now, which isn't really what he said. He's not against IVF. He's not 100% abolitionist. He just wants to move the goalpost in the right direction, which I think is a smart play. And we never know what he's going to do when he gets in there. He might just be saying that to get the vote because there's a lot of women who are going to vote for Kamala just because they want to kill babies. And so maybe Trump is just playing the game. He's just telling them what they want to hear. Once he gets in, maybe he says, no more abortions. I don't think he'll do that, but a lot of people are turning on Trump. A lot of people on the right are saying they're just not going to vote, which is lazy and beta. It's super beta.
Beta!
The least you could do is get out there and vote or stop complaining about politics.
That position, nor will I going forward. I kept my
Even if you just show up and write your own name in, write my name in. At least show up and vote.
word, and I will
But you need to vote for Trump.
keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate.
By what has
And
been.
to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation,
Garbage.
over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new...
That's such a waste of money. She's talking about we're going to save money investing in a clean economy. We're going to lose money doing that. We have to totally redo all of our energy webs, our energy networks. The Green New Deal, I think we read it on stream, has stuff about like refurbishing every large building to be an energy efficient building. You know how much money that costs and how inefficient it is energy wise? And what about the AI servers that use more energy than everything? We're going to just redirect all of our natural energy to AI farms, server warehouses.
new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as
almost
vice
over,
president, we can
guys.
do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me, I cast
it
the
was Dana.
tie-breaking vote that actually increased leases for fracking
God,
as
do
vice
not get that
president.
woman this
So I'm
out.
very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
Scientific data.
What I have seen is that we can grow
This
and
woman
we
ain't
can
seen no
increase a
scientific data.
thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Okay.
I don't know that man. Don't share his link. Don't share his link. He's a damn troll. He's never called in. I don't want to share his link. You want your link shared, you got to come on the show. I don't know if he's a troll. I'm just kidding. But seriously. He's never come in the Discord. What are we sharing his link for? All right. I don't know that man. Did you see what Tim Walt's brother said about him over the weekend? I posted on your Discord under interesting news. That's the new policy. You don't get your dang link shared unless you come in the Discord. Interesting news. What Tim Waltz said to his brother. Liz O'Neill, help MAGA. Get on stage with President Trump and endorse him. Help save this country. I've thought hard about doing something like that. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. The stories I could tell, not the type of character you want making decisions. That's his brother? What if somehow you got elected? Oh, it would not be good. What if we all voted for you and a bunch of people just randomly write your name and then you become president? You might get more votes than Kamala got. Yep, they might steal the election from me. I might have to do a dang insurrection. That's a joke, YouTube. I'm joking. Josh, Master Jim is an OG. You may not remember him. Oh, I remember him. I remember him. I remember him very well. What up, Master Jim? I know who he is. All right. So that's the. Let's see what key CNN says the key takeaways are. Key takeaways. Let's see what they're saying. Explaining flip flop on fracking. Speaking of flip flops, did somebody just mention flip flops? That's crazy. Flip flop on fracking. Explaining the flip flop on fracking. As a presidential candidate in 2019, Harris opposed fracking, a position that could have proven politically damaging in Pennsylvania. Well, fortunately, she didn't have to get elected, so it's not a big deal if she opposed fracking. Where it's a huge employer, now she says she supports it. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. That's such a funny word, fracking. Fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking, she said. Fracking, or hydraulic fracturing, is the process of breaking through the dense shale to unlock natural gas. Progressive says opposed fracking due to the concerns about climate change. However, under the Inflation Reduction Act, a sweeping $750 billion health care, tax, and climate bill that Harris cast the tie-breaking vote to pass in the Senate and President Joe Biden signed into law in 2022, fracking has expanded in the United States while also advancing clean energy efforts. Harris said she had already changed her position on fracking in 2020 when she said during the vice president debate that Biden will not end fracking. Appointing a Republican to the cabinet. Asked if she would appoint a Republican to her cabinet, she said, yes, I would. One? Gotta have at least one, right? Refusing to engage in Trump's identity politics. Harris largely sidesteps questions about Donald Trump's claims about her racial and gender identity. Last month, Trump questioned Harris's racial identity. I don't think she's even black. She happened to turn black. Next question, please, she said. That's it, Bash ass? That's it. What did she ask her? Trump's same old tired playbook. The phone call that changed everything. Oh, when Joe Biden called me, we'll do it, Joe. Blaming Trump on border security. Right, that makes sense. The guy that had to shut the government down because you wouldn't let him build the wall. Walt says he owns his mistakes. You better, because we know you did them. I'm talking about an era. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that crap. Enough politics stuff. Well, actually, we're not totally done with politics, but enough Kamala and Trump. What up, baby? What up, baby? Yeah, where you been anyway, Master Jim? Where you been, Master Jim? How you do, Mr. Magoo? All right. Let's talk about this Zuckerberg letter. Zuckerberg wrote a letter to Jim Jordan, one of the most based guys in American politics. Basically confessing that everything that whoever your conspiracy friend is, your conspiracy theory friend, everybody's got that conspiracy theory friend. We probably are the conspiracy theory friends in our friend groups. I am, as far as my family and friends and Facebook people go, I'm the conspiracy theory guy. We're the crazy ones. The Democrats always say we're the crazy ones. But turns out we were right. Again, we're always right. We're always right. If I say they're turning the frogs freaking gay, guess what? They're probably turning the freaking frogs gay. There's probably atrazine in the water that's turning everybody gay. If Alex Jones says it, it's probably true. If I say it, probably true. I might have come up with it on my own, or I might have just heard somebody else saying it, and I agree. Magician hat. What's the magician hat for? Stubborn one. Top hat. Fist. Commie fist. Thumbs up. Magician hat. I'm the guy who just magically knows the future. Right. So Zuckerberg wrote a letter to Jim Jordan saying that everything the Republicans and the conservatives were saying, and we were banning them. You remember that in Facebook? Everything they were saying. Um, well, it was true. Yeah, we were stifling posts about the election. We were banning Facebook accounts if they said anything about Hunter Biden having sex with underage prostitutes and smoking crack and leaving his laptop in a construction shop. I had a bunch of liberal friends unfriend me because they said, you say a lot of stupid stuff, but this laptop story is the stupidest of them all. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just wait and see, buddy. Just wait and see. Turns out, right again. Oh, they were trying to change the election results by using social media and stifling people's voices. Shocker. They were doing that too. Oh, Kyle Rittenhouse was innocent. I got banned for posting about Kyle Rittenhouse, and it said that I was supporting a terrorist. I got banned for 30 days on Facebook for supporting a terrorist because of Kyle Rittenhouse. And then when it turns out that he's innocent, I don't get the ban taken off my account at that point. It's still on there. Common sense and logical reasoning equals magic. What? I convinced a hooker to drink a... What? Her? Punched her in the... What? What are you talking about, Bibby? Are you on crack, boy? This is from Vox. I hate Vox. This week, Mark Zuckerberg sent Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio a letter outlining how the Biden administration pressured his company to censor free speech on Facebook, specifically misinformation about COVID-19 that was actually real information. But they didn't want you to see that before you got your Vaseline, before you got lubed up and had it jabbed in there with the Vaseline. Specifically, misinformation about COVID-19. The letter also made reference to Hunter Biden's laptop and Zuckerberg's lack of plans to spend money on the election. This sounds bad, but none of this information is new. Right. None of it's new. It's interesting that Zuckerberg decided to dive into the free speech snake pick this week. It's also not surprising that Republicans who have been on a book banning spree at schools nationwide are propping up old facts as if they were new revelations in their ongoing quest to blame Democrats for censorship. It's election season, and questioning reality is part of the fun. Yeah, Vox. Well, I think Zuckerberg might be a little scared because Trump said that he's going to put him in jail. Do I have that article? Where did that article go? Anyway, Trump threatens Zuck. He said, if you mess with these election results, you're going to jail. You had to be there, Josh. You had mismatched flip-flops. But why'd you say he first? You said he, then you said she. Was it a he or a she? Or a he-she? It does to normies, be wise. They need somebody on TV to tell them. You really got to hand it to blind prostitutes. No, seriously. Oh my God, shut up. So dumb. Where's my article about Trump saying he's going to put him in jail? I'm going to put him in jail. Let's see what Axios is saying. They have some bullet points for me. Zuckerberg says Biden admin pressured Meta to censor COVID-19 content. Yeah, and the Hunter Biden laptop. Why don't you put that in the headline, Axios? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said Monday that the Biden administration was wrong to pressure the company to censor certain inaccurate content during the COVID-19 pandemic. It wasn't inaccurate. Why it matters, social media networks played a significant role in helping spread misinformation and vaccine hesitancy during the pandemic with potentially lethal consequences for some Americans. Yeah, well, there was potentially lethal consequences for some of them that took it, too. The big picture in 2021, senior administration officials reportedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content. Zuckerberg wrote in a letter to the House Judiciary Committee. This includes censoring humor and satire, he added, noting that officials expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it, Zuckerberg wrote. Meta wouldn't make the same decision today and would push back if presented with such a scenario again, he added. Zuckerberg told Axios on HBO in September 2020 that Facebook wouldn't treat anti-vaccination posts as COVID-19 misinformation. What about YouTube? By February 2021, the policy had changed, with the company saying it would take a tougher stance on certain content, including posts that question the efficacy and safety of COVID-19 vaccines. In August 2021, Meta said it had removed more than 20 million pieces of content from Facebook and Instagram for violating the company's COVID misinformation policies. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan issued subpoenas to a number of big tech firms in February, alleging the Biden administration had colluded with tech companies to censor free speech. The White House did not immediately respond to Axios for comment. I'm looking for the article that said basically Trump sent a strongly worded letter to old Zuck. To old Zuck. Let's see what this video is. Oh, this is Newsmax talking about it. This is 6 minutes long. We're not watching all this.
I think it's also fair to call him weak and for sale. You would think with a personal net worth of $180.4 billion, he would not be tempted to sell his soul, but he did. Now the facts. And the facts, where'd I get them? I got them straight from him. He wrote those facts in a letter, and he signed it. The letter is on your screen, written by Zuckerberg to Jim Jordan, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. When I first read his letter, I thought, how low can he get? And where do I begin? His letter is saturated with disgrace.
Well, maybe he's trying to redeem himself. This is the redemption arc for Zuckerberg. Well, he never fought Elon, so I'm pissed about that. Master Jimbo said when the first time he donkey punched her. My kids play Minecraft and the pigs have eyes like that. What are you guys talking about?
Graceful admissions, but his mea culpa is frankly way too late. It's years too late. He did his damage to Americans and the Trump campaign and the First Amendment and lots of it. In his letter to Chairman Jordan, dated August 26, 2024, Zuckerberg admits that back in 2021, he and Facebook deliberately censored content about COVID. Why? Well, in his letters...
So this is nothing new. I had an article... Republicans were right from USA Today. Republicans were right. Zuckerberg admits Biden administration censored your Facebook feed. We all knew that. I had an article that said Trump basically threatened Zuck. Trump versus Trump. The former president is losing a winnable election. He has no one to blame but himself. In fact, Zuckerberg pointed to one such issue in his letter Monday. He said the FBI warned Meta about a potential Russian disinformation operation before the 2020 election involving the Biden family and Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company. We know all about Burisma. The president's son, after the warning, Facebook demoted or suppressed a New York Post news article about Hunter Biden's laptop and business engagements. We sent the story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. Zuckerberg wrote, It's since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. Shocker. And in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. Oh, no wonder. Better late than never? No, not in this case. Not in this case. Where's my friend? Zuckerberg learned MMA after he got bullied by the Democrats. He said no mas. I know. I just wanted to see him in Elon fight. That would have been awesome. I think that's all we got for the news. Not a big news week. Not a lot happening in the news this week. Big stories. But, you know, that's all right. Because since the news is over, give me 1 second. You know, since the news is over, then that means it's time for the memes. Hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. Error. Duplicate stream key. No, I don't want to. No, 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 no. Select a new key to go live here. No. Are we good? I clicked the wrong thing. Did the stream cut out? Did the stream cut out? Sorry, I clicked the wrong I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Meme time. I can't believe someone would make a pond in the shape of a kidney bean. You know? I can't believe somebody would make a pond in the shape of a kidney bean. What a crazy guy making that kidney bean pond. You guys notice the kidney bean shaped pond? Is that the first thing your eyes are drawn to, is the kidney bean shaped pond? Who would do that? That crazy guy making a kidney bean pond. Next. Stop giving kids Bible names, but no Bible lessons. Moses just tried to sell me crack. Moses, come on now. Next. Your future self is talking shit about you. Joke's on him, I'll effing ruin his life. That is true. That is true. That is true. I will. Next. What the herd hates most is the one who thinks differently. It is not so much the opinion itself, but the audacity of wanting to think for yourself. Yes, you are all wrong. I like this guy. This is me. This is me. This is when I become king. Yes, you are all wrong. You're all wrong. Got it?
It's a man, baby.
Next. Okay. 1850s Democrats. But without slaves, who will pick the crops? 2020s Democrat. But without illegal immigrants, who will pick the crops?
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
Next. Nothing says wholesome family fun like Bigfoot titty nipple slide. Bro. This looks like this reminds me of the dinosaur that they were in watching the movie in Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. But it's Bigfoot titty nipple slide. Bigfoot titty nipple slide. Nice. JS for President slogan, you are all wrong. Moses does have the best crack. Looks like penis pond. Next. Vegans combining 5+ carcinogens and 12 industrial chemicals to create food instead of just eating an egg. Vegans.
Beta!
Whoa. We'll be eating the bugs. Next. I like Breaking Bad. Me explaining to Jesus that communists aren't people, so throwing them out of a helicopter isn't a sin. Well, what up? Shout out Mel. Shout out Mel and Jesus.
It's a man, baby.
Nice. Next. Uh-oh. Kamala. Price controls are good, and you will like them. You will own nothing and be happy.
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
Next. I've heard he's still a pureblood, and he does his own research. What up, girl? Hey.
It's a man, baby.
I am a pureblood. I can actually give you babies. Next. I gotta take this out. It's gonna give me hiccups. I'm about to get hiccups from this nicotine patch. Watch. Here they come. It's coming. It's coming. I'm trying to say hiccup right before I hiccup. Hiccup. It's coming. It's coming. I think I stopped it. What up, Daddy Jub? I'm winging my toothbrushing time to watch the stream. Mad supportive Kamala changing accents. Who does that thing? Such a thing. Me all the time. Code changing. Well, y'all boy, know I got some dang barbecue down in my purse. Code changing. Is that what it's called? Next. In France, they call Michelle Le Big Mike. Le Big Mike. Dang. Michelle.
It's a man, baby.
Le Big Mike. Next. Monkeypox. White dudes for hairs. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Beta.
About to get stabbed up. Next. 10-year-olds in 2007. I just broke my arm on the monkey bars and I can see the bone. 10-year-olds now. I'm allergic to the sand. I'm allergic to the sand. I'm allergic to outside. Next. If I become a man, I might become more attractive. No, you're not any more attractive as a man. Or if the man said, I want to become a woman. Nope, you're not. You're still not attractive. Next. Why am I still single? Hates the patriarchy, has tattoos, hates God, party girl, hates her father, wears slutty clothes, 100 bodies, feminist, men are trash, and has a male best friend. And her shirt says, Daddy. That's why you're still single. And you have pink hair. Next. Base Savage. 2 what? 2 high-calorie humans wanted for allegedly setting fire to an apartment in Toronto. 2 high-calorie humans. We're calling them high-calorie humans now. Damn, they thick. Instead of just calling them thick, we're going to call them high-calorie humans from now on. A Royale with cheese. Code switching. Yeah. Look, there's Beth. Beth is a beast. When he starts making valid points halfway through the argument and you realize you might actually be a little nuts. That's me whenever I'm in a debate. People think it's going to be easy till I start dropping them truth bombs. Till I start dropping them dang truth bombs on them. That's right. The truth bombs are coming. The only real nuke is a JS truth nuke. High-calorie humans, something is going to eat them. Lizard people? Lizard people, yep. The lizard people. When your ancestry DNA test comes back and says 100% American, hey, we're going to McDonald's with an M60.
It's a man, baby.
Nice. Next. Life hack. Hide your firearm from the government by wrapping it in the Epstein client list. Yeah, that'll keep them from finding it. They'll never find that. Next. Oh no, DNC abortion bus breaks down and 4 babies get to live. Hey. Thanks, Babylon B. Next. I was born a male, identify as a male, but according to Stouffer's Lasagna, I am a family of 4. That's true. Actually, according to, remember when I got the fettuccine Alfredo? I was craving fettuccine Alfredo. That was a Stouffer's giant value size family meal, and it said 7 servings. Serve 7. So apparently, and I ate the whole thing in one night. So yeah, apparently, according to Stouffer's, I am a family of 7. So this is true. This is very true. Next. Since I can't afford gas, I'll just vote for the campaign that's running on joy. Strength and joy. Strength and joy. Remember, who said that? Who said strength and joy? If I ever debate somebody about Kamala, I'm going to be like, well, do you believe that we have strength and joy? And they're going to be like, yeah, joy is great. We love joy. Strength and joy? You know who said that? Hitler said that. Next. Damn, Greta. Greta says she is now selling her own milk to help save the planet. Dang! Dang, Greta, what up, girl? Boing. Greta looking thick. Oh no. Poor Greta. She's over 18 now, so we can do it. Next. White dudes for Harris. White dudes for Harris. Dang.
Beta!
Gay. I need gay. But I have beta.
Beta!
Okay, get this off my screen. Next. I've learned to kill my enemies with kindness. That's a minigun, bro. Yes, I've named it kindness. Not China. This is not China. Next. Imagine a future, a past unburdened. What did she say? It's so stupid. I can't ever remember. A present, a future unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Like grocery shelves? Next. No one. Pumpkin spice. I'm aware of the effect I have on women. It's pumpkin spice meme time, guys. Seasons are changing. The pollen's out. Allergies aren't real, though. Everybody gets the sniffles when the seasons change. It's just a part of life, guys. But another part of life is seasonal depression and pumpkin spice flavored Xanax and Halloween memes coming. I'm sure we're going to be having the costume memes coming out soon. The pumpkin spice memes. It's that time of the year, guys. It's that time of the year. And by the way, we will be celebrating Halloween, like always, because it's a Christian holiday. It's not a pagan holiday. It's a purely Christian holiday. Halloween, Easter, Christmas, not pagan at all. Christian holidays. Next. I said we the party of joy now. I said we the party of joy now. We gonna destroy the earth. We the party of joy. We about to destroy the earth. Anyone? No? No, you don't want to be the party of joy? We're the party of joy now. We're about to destroy the earth. Put a nice pair on old Greta and suddenly everybody dares. How dare you? Oh, I dare. Next. These are never going to stop being funny. Holy. Wait, what would Robin say here? Holy whack breakdancing skills, Batman. What the hell is wrong with that lady? Bam, pow. Next. With my price controls, you will eat bugs and have joy. No? No joy? Joy. Joy. Strength and joy? No? No strength and joy? Okay. Next. Doctor, please don't confuse your Google search with my medical degree. Me. Please don't confuse your God complex and financial incentives from Big Pharma with my ability to independently research the side effects of your medications with the most powerful information tool in the history of mankind. Yeah, the internet. The internet. Yeah, I didn't have to pay for a piece of paper to be able to read the same information that you have. And I know how to read because I didn't go to school in Minnesota. Tim Walsh was not my teacher. You're scared of informed people. Gotta dumb us down and demoralize us. Thanks, doctor. Next. Kamala. Kamala at the beginning of the bottle. She looked kind of cute there. Kind of good. Kamala at the middle of the bottle. Oh, now she's fun. Now she's fun. She's trying to get a job. Kamala at the end of the bottle. Questioning her life decisions. Questioning Kamala. And I think, guys, I didn't have a whole lot this week. That is it for the memes. Meme time's over. Quick meme time today. Quick meme time. In the meantime, Greta got 2 boobies. I only got 1. What? What are you talking about? It's weird the AI can't figure out Kamala's face. Well, they're not supposed. Some of the AIs won't let you do like presidents if you put a president's name in it, and I know they're like working on laws against that where you can't use people's images in AI. Like this Joy one, I think. I don't even know if that's AI or if somebody made that. But the one earlier where she was holding the bread, the commie one, definitely AI, and the face was off. Yeah. Some of the world's best leaders have been alcoholics. I won't start knocking it now. Josh, show the boobies again? No. I can't say what I said about Greta. I've been censored. No, they're AI boobies, baby. They're not even real boobies. I haven't seen one that really looks like her. Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're putting a picture in, but they're not saying the name. I don't know. Yeah, because some of the AIs won't let you. Open all in new window. All right, hold on. Okay. Reels. Let's watch some funny reels. I need more of those AI photos. What are we looking for? We're looking for this. All right. This one's pretty funny.
That's it. Tavares, right in the butt.
Right in the butt. What? He said right in the butt. The first word is 4 letters, bro. R-I-T-E. But you already have I's on the board. You have T on the board. And there's only one T. He says right in the butt.
No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Right in the butt?
Tavares, right in the butt.
What?
Right in the butt. He must have went to Tim Waltz's school because he can't read. This is crazy. I don't know if this is real or fake, but it says 3-year-old girl being flown into the sky after getting caught in a kite. And so this is a big old kite, and apparently a little girl gets caught in it, and it flies up in the sky. And I think somebody catches the baby, but I don't know if this is real, but it's crazy if it is. Baby! There's a baby on there. Everybody's freaking out. They finally bring it down, and I think somebody catches the baby. It came down slowly, and it looked like somebody caught it. I don't know if that's real, but if it is, that's freaking wild. That baby just had a blast. It looks fake. I don't know. Anyway. Next. This is funny. Dry Bar. Dry Bar's got some good, clean comedy on it. That's in Utah. That's here in Utah. That's over in Ogden or Provo.
It's on the elevator with me, and all of a sudden, she clutches her purse. It made me feel some type of way, and then it made the whole situation uncomfortable because I'm pulling, she's pulling, I'm pulling, she's pulling, I'm pulling. Just let go of the purse. A white older lady gets on the elevator with me, and all of a sudden, she clutches her purse. It made me feel some type of way, and then it made the whole situation uncomfortable because I'm pulling, she's pulling, I'm pulling, she's pulling, I'm pulling. Just let go of the purse.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you about what the fuck do you do when you're
Here's Theo. This is kind of sad, but it's also kind of positive at the end. Theo's great.
depressed and you don't know what the fuck is going on with your life. I'm 23. I'm about to graduate. All these kind of good things are happening around me, but man, I ain't been more depressed in my life. And I've seen you like on this week and like this weekend and all that shit. And I saw you were going through a hard patch now, and I was going through a hard patch, and I just kind of want to hear, you know, what do you do to kind of see the brightness when you stand in the dark, man? Be well.
I'll just tell you this, man. You got time to make some poor choices. So even if whatever you're choosing doesn't end up being phenomenal, you can fuck up, dude. You could start a bakery, bro.
Start a bakery.
You could start a bake. You could do French breads and, you know, baguettes and whatever, and fuck that whole industry up, dude. You could burn the bakery down and try to get insurance money. You go to jail for that for 8 years. You get out, you're only 31.
You can start a bakery and burn it down.
Hard.
Theo's awesome. That is some great advice. Great advice from Theo. All right. If it's real, it's sad how many people film the likely demise of a toddler. Yeah, well, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't. You got to go viral. That shit going viral. I hate that filming. Nobody can keep their dignity in a crisis no more. That sounded like Dean that got banned from Hake. Not the Dean from here. Is it the same Dean from here or a different Dean? Oh, the one that called Theo? I seen some lights. It was blue and red. Theo's dad was 67 when he was born. I know. It's crazy. Let's watch this article. Rapid fire news. Time for some rapid fire news. So, this is KUTV. Is this Utah? Yeah. This is from St. George, Utah. Let me show you how based Utah is. St. George, Utah. Students awarded School Spirit Award while wearing blackface at a football blackout game. I don't know what a football blackout game is. What up, Jeff Hewitt? About to go to bed. Wanted to stop by and say hi. What up, Mayhem? This is from St. George, Utah. Students at a School Spirit get awarded an award while wearing blackface. Let's watch this.
A high school is being criticized today after students attended Friday's football game wearing full black face paint. The school district says this was an attempt to show school spirit for the blackout football game.
Now, many concerned parents say that this is blackface and should not have been allowed. Liv Kelleher is in southern Utah at Pineview High School where the incident happened.
Pineview is where I went to middle school. Pineview Middle School, but not in Utah, in Florida.
A spokesperson for the Washington County School District did confirm that the incident happened. I also spoke with several Pineview High School parents who said their kids saw it too. It was Spirit Night on Friday, and kids were told to come to the game dressed
in
all black to emulate their school.
They're supposed to dress in all black. It was a blackout. Why is school having blackout night? What is this, Antifa preparation?
School's mascot, the Panther. Two students, however, took it a step further, covering their face entirely with blackface paint.
That's not true.
At halftime, the cheerleading squad
That's not true. I voted in 2020 for Trump.
posed with two students for this photo that we've blurred. The spokesperson and parents told me the two students were getting a Spirit Award.
Oh, why'd you blur it? I want to see, bro, this person's in full blackface. That looks like damn Mr. Popo.
It was then posted online by a coach. The image has since been deleted, but not before community members were able to screenshot and repost. One father I spoke with says he's looking for accountability and action. And he's worried that if the school doesn't take a strong stance,
let them kids wear
issues
some
like this will continue to happen.
They're trying to look like a panther. Look at their logo. Is the panther wearing blackface?
Here's what the Washington County School District had to say.
We work hard to create a safe space for all of our students, and we are disheartened that this took place, and we sincerely apologize to any.
But you still gave them the award. I mean, you didn't notice it until the backlash afterwards. Then you're like, oh yeah, she was wearing blackface, huh?
Any of our students or community members that were offended by this.
I think they should get a bonus award just for just for wearing the blackface. They should get an extra bonus spirit award. That's funny. Shout out Utah. Daddy Jub, here's a story that ran across my feed that I was wondering if you knew anything about. UFC's Sean Strickland threatens court, raises serious allegations against MMA manager Tiki Gozin. You know anything about this, Daddy Jub?
So you guys, I put a lot of thought in this video, and fuck it, we're doing it.
Hey, but he hints at stuff, but he doesn't actually come out and say it. Maybe he doesn't want to get sued for defamation. Maybe he's lying and just trying to stir up a controversy. I don't know. But apparently this Tiki Gozin guy has been doing some essays on people, this trainer.
What I'm saying, it's not fact. I can't prove it. This is
it's not a fact. I can't prove it. I'm just guessing that this guy is a dang serial essayer.
An allegation. It may or may not be true. I will just tell you my story, and I will let you decide. So this guy Tiki, he is very connected with the UFC, and he manages everybody from Aljo. He manages everybody.
What are you talking? I have a video on my YouTube channel of me going to the voting place. It was the first time I ever voted in a presidential election. What are you talking about?
So, I was at a gym. And I don't need to go into details, but something really bad happened with a girl and a fighter. And at that point on, I was like, I will never go back to HB Ultimate. I will never go back to this gym.
You know anything about this?
I think you are the worst of the worst. If you can do that, I'm done with you. So fast forward. Someone comes up to me and says, hey, Sean, you should really let Tiki manage you. He's a great manager. He's very connected. He'll make you a ton of money. And I say, you know what? I will never be in the same room with this guy, much less let him manage me. I don't care how much money he makes me. And there's a guy that heard the conversation. He says, you think that's bad? Let me tell you what he did with this guy's daughter, who I've known for years. And I'm like, oh shit, tell me. So he tells me, and I go to the guy that says, hey, you wanted me to manage this guy. Let me tell you this story. And this guy says, fuck, how did you know about that? Right? So I go on Twitter and I make a joke about, like I do. I say, hey, you know what? This guy's a groomer, potential pedophile. This is what I could. It's not confirmed. It's not slander. It's not defamation. This is just what I heard. So I get a word to the chain, that this guy is thinking about suing me for defamation. Which I don't know how. I'm not saying you did or didn't. I'm just saying this is what I heard. So I reach out to the father of the girl. The girl is married, great life, has kids. And I say, hey, I will pursue this, and I will go to court, and I will crowdfund this whole thing.
Dumbo? Yeah.
But I need.
Are you saying he looks like Dumbo because of his ears? He got cauliflower ears. Have you ever seen Operation Dumbo Drop?
I need to know if you're okay with it. If your daughter's okay with it. Because if you aren't, I'm not going to say one damn word, and I'm going to let it die. So he gets back to me, he called his daughter. And his daughter, I guess, was pretty emotional about the whole thing. And she said that we 100% support you. And, you know, he said there are levels to it that she couldn't even talk about because it was that traumatizing to her.
Okay, this is long, but some MMA drama. Aljamain Sterling talked about it too. Aljamain Sterling reacts to Tiki Gozin's alleged predatory behavior claims by Sean Strickland. And I think Aljamain denies it. What did Aljamain say? Aljamain Sterling, who is managed by Gozin, released a statement prompting Strickland to respond. Sterling, meanwhile, UFC bantamweight Aljamain Sterling. I don't have all the information, but this is not a reflection of me in any form, Sterling wrote, distancing himself from the allegations against his manager. Ooh, that's not a very strong response in favor of his manager. Strickland wrote in a response to Sterling, yeah, man, trust me, I really want to release the girl's name, but I just can't. If I get sued, it will come out, but it's up to her and her family to come forward, not me. I've received a lot of messages on my social media regarding my management. I can 100% confirm that I learned of the accusations this week. I don't have all the information, but this is not a reflection of me in any form. So he's already, yeah, but that kind of answer kind of seems like he's leaning towards, yeah, it's probably true. Oh, Aljamain. So UFC news. What else we got? From Washington Post, I don't even want to show this on screen. This guy's smoking some he's smoking some dope off of a foil. But it says, hard drugs illegal again in Oregon as first in nation experiment ends. First in nation experiment fails. The overdose went up by 500%. Those who supported a measure that went into effect in 2021, which legislators rolled back this year, said it sought to help instead of simply handcuff. Help by giving them cleaner drugs and letting them shoot up and not taking them to jail. Great idea. What happened? A bunch of more people started dying. As of Sunday, it is once again illegal to possess small amounts of hard drugs in Oregon. that plan didn't go so hot, reports Washington Post. A first-in-nation law decriminalizing drugs expired as communities across America struggle to curb fentanyl use and overdose deaths. Sunday marks the end of the experiment that drug reform advocates called a pioneering and progressive measure to better help people. Oregon legislators reassessed Measure 110 this year and decided to again make it a misdemeanor to possess a minor amount of drugs, essentially anything besides marijuana. Selling and manufacturing illicit drugs was and is still legal. Selling and manufacturing illicit drugs was and is still legal in Oregon. So you can still manufacture and sell it, you just can't possess it. Those who supported the measure said it sought to help instead of simply handcuff by offering services as opposed to the stigma of an arrest, which can make it harder to find a job or a place to live. The most vocal advocate was the Drug Policy Alliance. Yeah, well, you know what's worse than not being able to find a job or a place to live? Dying. The most vocal advocate was Drug Policy Alliance, which spent more than $4 million on this campaign. The measure required officers to hand out $100 citations instead of jail time. Yeah, that they're never going to pay. And that citation could be waived if the person called a state-funded hotline and enrolled in an assessment for treatment. Those services were funded by hundreds of millions of dollars in marijuana tax revenue. So we take the weed money revenue, we set up centers, we stop arresting hardcore drug users. Bro, this is all, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the scam. Dumb down and demoralize. Get everybody on drugs. Start with smoking pot. Jack Herr wrote about this. This was the fear of marijuana legalization, is that it would inevitably lead to more stronger things being legalized. And he was right. And that's exactly what happened. And the overdose rates skyrocketed, 500% increase in overdose rates and over like a couple months. So yeah, that's that. Shocker. So they've taken back that. They're still going to be super soft on it, I'm sure. But big surprise there. If you can't handle yo ish, you're done. Snitching was shamed in my house, even by my parents. I never snitched, and JS is a fellow never tattler. A never tattler. All right. Let's watch this video. Here's an interesting story. Turkish beekeeper Ibrahim Sadef had a bear problem, and he was a honey farmer. He made honey, and he had a bear problem. So what did he do? He came up with a clever solution. He decided to turn the bears into taste testers of his honey. So he put different flavor honeys out, and which ones the bears would go to was the best one. It turns out the bears like the expensive honey. They have a refined bear honey palate. Let's watch this. The music might be copyright. Look, the bears are stealing his honey. Hey, why did Piglet, why did Winnie the Pooh get mad at Piglet? Because Piglet stuck his finger in Pooh's honey. Okay. Look at this. What does this guy live in? A freaking storage container? No! Oh, no. They would destroy the beehives and eat up all the honey. So he decided to make taste testing stations and pour a little bit of the honey out. So then it's easier for the bears. He was about to give up and he thought of an idea. Instead of them sneaking in, he'd just give them honey to sample and he could figure out what the best honey was. He set up a honey testing table for the bears. And this, see, they like the Anzer Bali, Cheek Bali, Visni, nesting. Now bears can have all the honey without breaking the beehives. And it shows him which honey is the best honey. Nice. And then it just goes through it again. But anyway, he found out that the bear, look at this bear. He's happy. He got his honey. Turns out the bears prefer the expensive honey. In one of the articles I read, it said the favorite was the most expensive. It's like $100 a jar. Fancy honey. Because Piglet stuck his finger in Pooh's honey. Yes. Womp, womp, womp. Body cam YouTube channel showed me an astonishing number of people talk themselves into arrests. Yeah, those are the ones you see, though. They're not going to show you the boring ones where people get let go and are friendly with the police. NBC News, White House says Biden and Harris weren't invited to the Arlington Cemetery of families of Secret Service members killed during the Afghanistan withdrawal. The 13 soldiers that were killed during our horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan, Biden and Harris didn't get invited to the memorial. Biden and Harris teams pushed back against claims for the GOP Senator Tom Cotton and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard that had been invited alongside Trump. Gold Star families did not invite President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to Arlington National Cemetery by last week to commemorate the 3rd anniversary of the attack at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. A White House official and Harris aide told NBC News, rebutting several claims made by Sunday by GOP Senator Tom Cotton and former Representative Tulsi Gabbard. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. We've already done our politics stuff. Donald Trump's veteran problems keep growing. We've done all our politics, but this is Newsweek. Donald Trump has, over the past few weeks, found himself embroiled in a number of controversies involving military veterans, a community that, according to one expert, he has developed a complex relationship with. Earlier this month, Trump was criticized by a prominent figure within the Veterans of Foreign Affairs, a group that provides support to former service personnel, after he suggested the Presidential Medal of Freedom is better than the Medal of Honor. Trump was also accused of politicking on the sacred ground of Arlington National Cemetery by the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America after reportedly filming a video in an area reserved for Americans' recent war dead. So they're trying to say that the military doesn't like him. We all know the military loves Trump. From ABC News, 49ers Ricky Pearsall to miss at least 4 games after being shot in an attempted robbery. I just thought that was interesting. I'm not going to read it. This is rapid fire news. Israelis erupt in protest to demand a ceasefire after 6 more hostages die in Gaza. This hostage thing, maybe we'll talk about it in the after party. UN chief slammed for not condemning, and that was from AP. Fox News says UN chief slammed for not condemning Hamas terrorists in a statement on murdered U.S. and Israeli hostages. So I guess 6 of the hostages died. There's your little Israel updates. I have a lot of little rapid fire stories. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Maybe in the after party we'll talk about some of this stuff, but this is an interesting story. Check this out. A German warship played the Darth Vader theme as it drove through London on the River Thames. Look at this. Bro, isn't that epic? Imagine Germany is floating a warship down the Mississippi River, just banging out the dang Imperial March. Let's go. Germany's based. Dark side.
Des neuen Todessterns wird wie geplant abgeschlossen.
Join the dark side, baby. I can't play that. That's going to be copyright. But that's awesome. What else we got? Check this out. Woman spent $1 million trying to look like Kim Kardashian. From the Post, New York Post. Surgery addict who spent $1 million to look like Kim K says butt lift filler left her infertile and in constant agony. My limitations are severe. Her life got rear-ended. An influencer is warning women to steer clear of popular butt filler. I got a popular butt filler for... Wait, pause. That's just for the ladies. That's gross. That's sodomy. That's sodomy. Okay, we do not support butt filler. Stop filling butts. That is so sick. In that one clip, I became pro-German. Bro, I've always been pro-German. Don't you know they started a war with the world? And then years later, they got bored and they wanted to go to war again, so they just started another war. And guess who they fought with the second time? With the world. Clip it. You know, that makes me feel like watching Empire Strikes Back right now. Darth Vader isn't evil, just misguided. Yeah, anybody who knows what they're talking about knows that the rebels were lame. Luke was gay. Yoda is whack. Strong with the Force I am. Butt filler I must get. Force the butt filler. Yoda. Bro, the dark side was way cooler. The Empire is based. The rebels are like weird socialist commies. They're like, we want to be hippies in the desert. Free love. The mean Empire. The Empire was based, bro. You know that makes me... AOJS takes the dirt road home. I'm talking about butt filler. Let's look at this. Oh, there's an ad. Hold on one second. Self-proclaimed surgery addict Jennifer Pamplona. She actually looks kind of pretty. I'm sure within a couple of years she's going to be busted. And now she's infertile. She got a dump though. No, I don't think there's any pictures of her butt in this. I'm waiting for this ad to play. Hold on, we'll be there in a second. We got to see this $1 million butt filler.
Ilegal. Me refirió que le habían inyectado un tiempo atrás una sustancia en sus glúteos en Brasil.
Glúteos en Brasil. Estadio en tus glúteos en Brasil.
MMA, polimetil metacrilato, en un procedimiento conocido como bioplastia.
Bioplasty, non-abrasive bioplasty. Bioplasty. It's butt filler. You filled her butt.
Chia, no Brasil. La sintomatología. Debemos enfrentar el problema, manejar la inflamación y prepararla para una cirugía reconstructiva.
I don't speak this language. I wanted to see this. What up, girl? She's kind of cute. She does kind of look like Kim K. But I want to see the dump. There's no pictures of the dump. See, she's got a pretty face. Doesn't look like she's gone too crazy with the Botox and the lip filler. She's definitely got some lip filler, though. But, unfortunately, she does look like Kim Kardashian right there. I'm trying to see the dump, you know? She got a dump. I'm trying to see the dump. What that butt filler do, though? Okay. $1 million just to be infertile and in constant agony because of your butt filler. Corn cob is a butt filler. Look up. We got dark side sometime. We got Dark Side. You have to remind me in the after party. All right, enough of the butt filler thing. Last but not least, space news, tech news. Before we get into simulation theory, tech news, space news. How long?
That's 15 and counting.
This is 9 minutes. I'm gonna have to take a bathroom break while this plays. But first, one last story. We got NASA astronauts stuck in space because of Boeing. As if Boeing hasn't had enough problems and they aren't, killing whistleblowers left and right, DEI hires, making planes fall apart in midair. Apparently, Boeing flies our astronauts out to the space station, and the Starliner that was set to leave the International Space Station with the astronauts, the Starliner is a Boeing aircraft that I guess is a spaceship that can go to low Earth altitude and hook up to the dang space station. I didn't even know Boeing was involved in this. There were strange noises. This is from Fox News. NASA astronaut stuck in space reports strange noises coming from troubled Starliner capsule. Starliner, slated to leave the International Space Station on September 6th, returned to Earth on autopilot. So the plane left him, and he's stuck in space now, and there's strange noises. Could you imagine being stuck in space? Yes, be wise. It's really loud on my clips. Oh, my bad. I did not know that. Thank you for telling me. I think cosmetic surgery is a negative like 80% of the time. So a NASA astronaut at the International Space Station on Saturday reported hearing a strange noise coming from the Boeing Starliner spacecraft just days before it is set to leave the station and return to Earth on autopilot. The astronaut Butch Wilmore radioed Mission Control at Johnson Space Center in Houston to inquire about the noise. On an audio recording of the exchange, Wilmer holds up a phone in the speaker so that Mission Control could hear the noise he was referring to. A pulsating sound emanating at steady intervals can be heard throughout the Wilmore's device. Butch, that one came through, Mission Control said after not hearing it the first time. It was kind of like a pulsating noise, almost like a sonar ping. What the heck is going on in space? I'll do it one more time and let you all scratch your heads and see if you can figure it out what's going on. Mission Control tells Wilmer the recording will be passed along and they'll let him know what they find. Wilmer clarifies that the sound is emanating from the speaker inside of the Starliner. The bizarre sound was first reported. Is this aliens? What's going on? Experts, and then from VOA, experts question Boeing's space business after Starline failure. Bro, somebody's about to wind up dead. If somebody's going to blow the whistle, it's about to wind up dead. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We got a dang astronaut stuck in space because Boeing DEI hires can't build anything anymore. Such a spooky tale, I feel, for the astro folk. Yeah, there's some dang alien creatures out there. And then we love watching Elon's rockets take off and land. They did a double rocket launch. 2 rockets launched and landed within an hour of each other. 65 minutes. SpaceX launches 2 Falcon 9 rockets in 65 minutes. If they could have shaved 5 minutes off, they would have had 2 rockets launch and land themselves within an hour. Watch this. I'm going to go use the restroom, and I will be right back so we can talk about simulation theory. Oh, sorry for the audio.
That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
At US Bank, when we say we're in it with you, we mean it. Not just for the good stuff,
but for all the hard work it took to get there. We are in for all of it. Because there's nothing as powerful as the power of us.
When you have rheumatoid arthritis, the smallest things can feel like the biggest obstacles. But Xeljanz may help. Xeljanz is for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis. Xeljanz is a pill, not an injection. So when you've taken a TNF blocker like Humira and it did not work well, know there are other treatment options like Xeljanz. Xeljanz can help relieve joint pain and swelling, stiffness, and help stop further joint damage. Some saw improvement within 2 weeks. Xeljanz helps some feel less RA fatigue. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma, skin and lung cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take...
My stomach was killing me. I had to go to the bathroom. Sorry for the ad. This is a boring video anyway. I just want to skip to the part where they land. It's pretty crazy.
Bearing separation confirmed.
Stage 1 landing burn.
On.
Stage 2 tower guidance.
On. Sorry for the ads. 1. Here, it's landing right now. Here it comes.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
That's just so cool. Boom. To launch a rocket that big is one thing, but to get it to land, that's so cool. Anyway, enough of that. That's it for all the news. Now we got about an hour to talk about simulation theory. I don't know if I've talked about simulation theory before on the show, but I think I'm sure I've talked about it a lot of times, but I don't know if I've ever done a segment on it, but I think I have. But we're going to do it again because I love simulation hypothesis. Scientists say there's a 50-50 chance. How can you know? It's unfalsifiable. We definitely saw more advertisement than video. I know, my bad. My bad. I had to go to the bathroom. Pharmaceutical ads that saw a cancer treatment ad, and one side effect was literally may increase risk of cancer. Well, I saw a cancer treatment ad, and one side effect was may increase risk of cancer. Yeah. There's one ad that is a depression treatment for people with treatment-resistant depression. Do you have treatment-resistant depression? Have you tried everything and you're still depressed? Have you tried all of the treatments, all of the medicines, and you're still depressed? Well, we have a new prescription for you. Treatment-resistant depression. Side effects may include loss of bodily functions, loss of limbs, death, increased depression. The data is fluid. I knew Elon was a cold MFer when I seen them boys land that first time. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. All right. It's time, guys. It's time. Do we live in a simulation? Are we living in a simulation? What if everything you thought was real was actually just computer generated and programmed into your mind? What if nothing existed? What if we're a brain in a vat? What if movies like The Matrix or Dark Future, what's the other movies? I got a list of movies here. Movies that talk about Source Code, The Matrix, Ready Player One, The Truman Show, Inception. What if there's realities within realities within realities within realities? Could we be on base reality? Scientists aren't sure. This is unfalsifiable. This can't be known. But we're going to try to know it. We're going to try to learn everything we can about the simulation. A doctor trying to hack the simulation. Let's get into it. Okay. Try not being a cure all them mental conditions. Or I got toxic masculinity. All right. Simulation theory. They tell you to take a ton of drugs and list off a ton of side effects. Yeah. From Popular Mechanics, are we living in a simulation? Well, scientists say there's a 50-50 chance, which means they don't freaking know. Maybe none of this is real, so don't worry about it. Scientists and philosophers meet at the bleeding edge of simulation theory because the question is so big, many experts approach it from very different angles. The weighted Bayesian calculation has a lot of assumptions built in. If real life seems like just too much, take comfort in this theory. Scientists say odds are even that we're living in a simulation. It's actually not a theory because it can't be tested. It's just a hypothesis, simulation hypothesis. The coin flip depends on a great deal of science we may uncover in the near future. The 50-50 probability is rounded from a calculation whose outcome is more like 50.222222 with a repretend to 49.777 with a repretend. Scientific America cites the landmark 2003 paper, Are We Living in a Computer Simulation? By philosopher Nick Bostrom. So Nick Bostrom, scientist, I got one of his papers here, but we're just going to read it from Popular Mechanics. So he said that there was 3 possibilities. One of these 3 is probably true or has to be true. 1, the human species is likely to blow ourselves up before we get to leave base reality, before we make a simulation, basically. We'll probably blow ourselves up. Option 2, in the future or currently, people are bored, so they don't want to make a post-human civilization or a second layer to reality. Or option 3, we are living in a simulation currently. Elon Musk thinks we're not in base reality. And the idea is we get so far advanced with AI and computers and technology and virtual reality and all these things that eventually, like in Ready Player One, we live in a pod with a helmet on, and the world is all digitally produced. And this brings in ideas like observer. What's this called? Observer effect. The observer effect. Observer effect is something like in video games, the idea that whatever's real is just what we're seeing. Like the computer, the program only has to generate what we can see. So what's behind us isn't really going on. There's nothing, and a lot of conspiracies get into this stuff. So, we'll check out what's it called? It's in my notes. Oh, this one got canceled. The multi-slit experiment. What's it called? Anyway, that ties into this. Quantum physics ties into this. Observer effect, the bootstrap theory, all these things. I think there's an arc being built, one of many. If simulation theory is real, dark matter's got something to do with it. I don't know about dark matter, but so let me just read this. I argue that at least one of the following propositions is true. The human species is very likely to become extinct before reaching a post-human stage. Option 2, any post-human civilization is extremely unlikely to run a significant number of simulations of its evolutionary history or variations thereof. Basically, we get too bored. This is the nobody's playing games. Basically, people get bored of that, and we don't make any simulation or we don't make any programmed reality. I think that's the least likely of the 3. Option 3 is we are certainly living in a computer simulation. It follows that the belief that there is a significant chance that we shall one day become post-humans who run ancestor simulations is false unless we are currently living in a simulation. I discuss some consequences of this results. This is from Nick Bostrom. Dark matter is everywhere. Are you talking about black people? He black. That's why so much money has been laundered in the past years. I think there's an arc being built, one of many. The Bible seems to say that the simulation theory or simulation hypothesis cannot be true since it says we are responsible for our own sins. The Father is not responsible for our sins. The Father is not responsible for our sins. I'm not sure where that's from. I think simulations can get boring. Absolutely. Well, no, they're saying that society gets bored with trying to make a simulation, so they don't make a simulation. That's option 2. I lean towards option 1, that we'll probably blow ourselves up before we're smart enough to create a simulation. But the idea is that everything is just a digital world. Our brain is actually sitting in a vat somewhere, and all of these things are just being programmed. And I think it's very possible, and I like it because I think it kind of jives well with Christianity, because the person who believes in simulation theory is still going to have the problem of infinite regress. So you could say, well, which reality are we in? Let's say we're in the 10,000th reality. Okay, well, you still got to go back down the line until you get to base reality. Once you get to base reality, how did that come to be? And then we're still going to get to the same arguments, the ontological argument, the moral argument, the kalam, fine-tuning, and we're still going to say there has to be a creator. There has to be an original creator. So, and if there's a creator, it really is simulation theory. Like, this is all a simulation. It's just God is the programmer. So I kind of like simulation theory because it works well with Christianity. God is the programmer, the world is the simulation, our soul is the reality, and whatever other level of existence there is, this is just the test. This is a big Turing test to see if we're smart enough to get out of the program. And I think that's pretty deep. Let's see what Wikipedia says. Simulation hypothesis, not theory, because you can't become a theory unless you test your hypothesis and prove it. Then it becomes a theory until a better theory replaces it. So anything you have that's been a theory for hundreds of years, most likely is a fact. It's true. It's reality. But the simulation hypothesis can't be tested. It can't be falsified. People will say, well, Christianity can't be falsified. Christianity can be falsified. If they find Jesus's body, if Jesus never died, then Christianity is wrong. If Jesus wasn't crucified and Jesus didn't rise again, then Christianity has been falsified. Since they haven't found the body, and they never will, but they have found evidence of the death and the resurrection, and we have witness testimony, and we have physical evidence and relics like the Shroud of Turin and things like that, we can safely say that our theory of Christ is truth. So where was I going with this? But simulation theory can't be tested. It can't be falsified. It can't be observed. Unless we hacked the simulation, which we'll talk about that in a second. This doctor that wrote a book on that. Unless we hacked the simulation or became smart enough to self-realize that we were in the simulation and break out of it somehow, like the movie The Matrix and like the basis of a lot of movies, it is actually the simulation hypothesis, not the simulation theory. Ever since the Matrix, the idea has been cultivated so much. Yeah, but it was a thing way before the Matrix. Like, I don't think the Wachowski brothers, yes, brothers, are actually that smart. I think they just basically did the same thing Joseph Smith did. They're probably pretty smart, but they're not like geniuses. They just were good at making a conglomeration of all these different ideas. It's the same thing Joseph Smith did, same thing Muhammad did. They're like prophets, fake false prophets of their time. They had some philosophy, some anime, some punk rock, some Rage Against the Machine, mixed with some postmodernism, mixed with some steampunk, mixed with some anime, mixed with some philosophy. Let's just throw it all in a blender, and we got the Matrix. Like, it wasn't that super original, but you're right. They did bring a lot of attention to it. And I do like the Matrix movies. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But simulation hypothesis proposes that what sentient beings experience as the world is actually a simulated reality, such as a computer simulation in which humans themselves are constructs. There has been much debate over this topic, ranging from philosophical discourse to practical applications in computing. The simulation hypothesis, as formulated by Nick Bostrom, is part of a long tradition of skeptical scenarios. It's really just a thought experiment, because it can't be proven or disproven. It's just fun to think about. It's kind of interesting, and I don't think it conflicts with Christianity, because even if we are in a fifth reality, we still have to get to base reality, and we still have to ask why. Why did the universe begin in base reality? Before we can ask, or after we ask, why did they make the simulation? Why are we in the simulation? Okay, well, why did the creator create the simulation? Well, where did the creator come from of the simulation? Well, he had to come from somewhere. Who created him? Or is God the creator of the simulation? It doesn't really they work. They can still go together. Shroud of Turin keep standing up to scrutiny. Yeah, we talked about that last week. It's actually got more evidence recently that it's true. Pseudoscience. The hypothesis has received criticism from some physicists, such as Sabine Hossenfelder, who has called it pseudoscience and religion, and cosmologist George F.R. Ellis, who stated that the hypothesis is totally impractical from a technical viewpoint. Yeah, but it's fun. From a philosophical viewpoint, it's cool. And that late night pub discussion is not a viable theory. Late night pub discussion is not a viable theory. Right, it's not a theory, though. It's a hypothesis, and it's a thought experiment. The hypothesis was preceded by many earlier versions, several of which have also been featured in science fiction, appearing as a central plot device in many stories and films, such as The Matrix. Human history is full of thinkers and observers. The difference between how things seem and they might actually be, with dreams, illusions, and hallucinations, providing poetic and philosophical metaphors. For example, the butterfly dream of Zugazi from ancient China, or the Indian philosophy of Maya. Oh, Freddie's getting excited. Or in ancient Greek philosophy, Anaxarchus. Anaxarchus was a Greek philosopher of the school of Democritus. Together with Pyrrho, he accompanied Alexander the Great into Asia. The reports of the philosophical views suggest he was a forerunner of the Greek skeptics. Likened existing things to the scene painting and supported them to resemble the impressions experienced in sleep or madness. In the Western philosophical tradition, Plato's allegory of the cave stands out as an influential example. The allegory of the cave. So, anyway, you said something to the effect. The reason I thought of doing this episode, is because Timcast recently had a debate: creationism versus simulation theory, God or atheism. And I don't think you necessarily have to be an atheist to dabble in simulation theory. But this guy that he had on wrote a book, and we're going to watch a little of this, and then we're going to read, or he wrote a paper, and we're going to read a little bit of the paper, How to Hack the Simulation. This guy is trying to figure out how to use computers to basically be a Neo and hack the simulation. He's going to hack into the simulation. But this was a good debate. Maybe we'll watch more of it after the show, but we're just going to watch a little bit right now. I wish I would have saved timestamps, but let's listen to what this guy's saying.
This is basically my belief. I think we're getting to the point where we have this technology, and we can do it in the future. But here's the most interesting aspect of it.
Go ahead.
Just to, if anyone's questioning whatever it's simulation, let's say in 10 years, 20 years, technology to run realistic simulations is available to me. It's affordable, and it's so high quality you can't tell. I pre-commit right now to run millions of simulations of this exact moment, placing you statistically in one of those simulations. So even if right now there is still low statistical chance of it, eventually you are guaranteed to be in a virtual world.
Right. This is one of the most common arguments that you hear for simulation theory, and one of the earlier ones that became popular. The fact that we can, right now, literally in our reality, create these simulations, and we're getting to the point where it's going to be indistinguishable, especially with something like Neuralink, then the likelihood is great.
So they put a chip in your brain, and it's kind of like you're always wearing a VR helmet. And you could just be asleep, hooked to a feeding tube that's feeding you, and all this needs control of is your mind. And this is why me and Nada got into our little argument, our little tiff, because what I'm saying is that the soul and the mind don't matter. Don't smoke, kids. Don't be gay, Master Jim. Don't be gay. Don't worry about the smoking. No, I'm just kidding. But really, it is kind of, smoke, kids. It'll make you stronger. Where was I? Exclusive beanies. Smoke, kids. We probably just ran Master Jim off. What the heck was I saying? Where's the part where he this part. This is observer theory. Observer theory. Sorry, Mr. Master Jim. I've been watching Andrew, and whenever somebody tells him not to smoke, he roasts them. But you're right. You should roast me. I'm gay for smoking. I'm gay for smoking cigarettes. You're right. Don't smoke, kids. I was wrong for that. It was a knee-jerk reaction. The simulation. What the heck was I just saying? Oh, what I was talking about with Nada. So, our mind and our soul are not connected. Your soul doesn't come from your mind. They've said the soul of the belly, soul of the heart. I don't think it's connected to any of that. Nothing physical. Not your mind. You can recreate a mind and you can make it self-learning, and then it can artificially generate self-actualization. There are people who are NPCs who walk around brain dead. Computers can learn. Computers can do probability, make decisions. If you program a computer to do what's good for humanity, and the computer thinks that killing 70% of the people is good for humanity, then it can do it. The computer thinks putting everybody into a simulation would be less harmful, then the computer can do that. And we got robots. I got a robot story that they're working on. We've done a lot of robot stories, So the soul doesn't matter. It doesn't need a soul to think. Thinking does not require a soul. Consciousness, maybe we could argue consciousness is the soul, but your brain, your thoughts, thought patterns, emotions, that's all just firings in your brain. Those are thoughts. Smoking always looks cool. But I want to go to this part. This is the observer's theory. The idea of this is that if we were in a simulation, it would be like a video game. The program would only have to generate what we see to save on memory space. It doesn't have to show what's behind us. But we have mirrors and stuff, so I think that's debunkable. But the mirror could be fake. Like in the Matrix, you touch the mirror and it like sucks you in. That's why he goes into the mirror in the Matrix. There is no spoon.
Models, maybe if they get sick, this system needs none of that, and it works at higher speeds. So what we see typically take 2 years to see the next generation of large language models. Maybe it will take 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 days. So you have this exponential explosion of intelligence.
I want to pull up this image we have here. This is an old post from a video game called Horizon Zero Dawn. What you're seeing, for those that are watching,
the blue is the camera view, and it's showing how the computer just loads in what the character can see. So it saves on memory space.
Those that I'll try to describe it to you. You have what looks like a big blue translucent pyramid, and as this pyramid shape sweeps across the landscape either disappears or reappears. What this is the camera view of the video game character. And that's why it looks to be a sort of a pyramid, because it's the shape of your screen. When you pan the camera, what you are not looking at ceases to exist. What you are attempting to look at will begin to exist as the camera moves in this direction. This is how open world video games are able to render massive worlds without using up all their memory all at once. The memory understands what exists in the game world and where it is. However, this is why in a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, for those that aren't familiar, It's
okay, we get it, Tim. The Christian guy is pretty cool. He gives some good arguments, but they actually end up agreeing. It's actually more of just a friendly conversation because they agree on a lot of things. And I think a lot of simulation theory doesn't disprove Christianity or God. They would say that religion is actually part of the program and it's the program deceiving us. I don't agree with that, but that's what some more atheist people would say. Let's watch this little documentary. This is 30 minutes long from Meta Rising. I haven't watched this yet. Let's watch this and then we'll read a little more. We won't watch all of it, but we'll watch some of it.
Are you living in a computer simulation? This was the title of the philosopher Nick Bostrom's now iconic paper, published in 2000.
And I also watched a long interview with him and Lex Friedman. Lex, I think, is pro. Well, I think Lex is anti simulation theory, but Elon is very pro simulation.
And 3, Bostrom's ideas sent shockwaves through the academic world, through popular culture.
So this is post-Matrix. He wrote his paper post-Matrix.
Culture and even religion. His paper suggested that more than a remote and whimsical prospect, there is a serious possibility that we and our entire reality are the simulation of an advanced civilization. Bostrom's paper proved so compelling that in 2016, a New Yorker article reported that many in Silicon Valley had become obsessed with the idea, and that 2 unnamed billionaires had secretly employed teams of scientists to attempt to break out of the simulation.
And that's what this paper is. How to hack the simulation. That other guy, Roman Yampolsky, that we just saw on the Tim Pool thing, he wrote this paper that I have here on hacking the simulation. So, introduction, several philosophers and scholars have put forward an idea that we may be living in a computer simulation. In this paper, we do not evaluate studies, argumentations, or evidence for or against such claims, but instead ask a simple cybersecurity inspired question, which has significant implications in the field of AI safety. Namely, if we are in a simulation, can we escape from the simulation? More formally, the question could be phrased as, could generally intelligent agents placed in a virtual environments jailbreak out of them? So they're trying to figure out how to hack the simulation and get us out of it. It's like Matrix. It's all like the Matrix.
Technology magnate Elon Musk has also been public about his personal fascination with this idea, including his conviction
if anybody's a dang robot, it's Elon.
That the probability that we are living in base reality is 1 in billions. So why have prominent individuals, scientists and philosophers taken seriously this seemingly bizarre possibility? Is it true? And what might it mean? With the use of ever more powerful and sophisticated computers, over the last 50 years, humans have created ever more realistic virtual worlds. As far as anyone can presently tell, there is nothing which stands in the way of these simulated realities continuing to improve forever. Many now foresee a time when these virtual worlds will become so realistic that unless we have direct knowledge, it may be impossible for us to tell the difference between virtual worlds and base reality. This raises the unsettling question, how do we know that we don't already live in a simulation? Could this have already happened? Could we be living in what Bostrom calls an ancestor simulation, a creation of an advanced civilization?
That's not Inception, that's not Inception, that's the spaceship one, Intergalactic or whatever.
Civilization designed for the purposes of studying its own past. In truth, advanced civilizations may have countless reasons to run such simulations, and would likely.
I listen to a lot of stuff, a lot of droll. Is that a word? A lot of intellectual dark web stuff that is very monotone and boring.
We create astronomical numbers of them. It would therefore seem to follow that of all of the beings in existence, an overwhelming majority of them would be inhabiting simulations. The likelihood then that we occupy base reality would therefore appear very small indeed.
Hey, if you're not playing MTG Arena, you probably should.
Stupid ads. No,
simulation
I'm not
argument.
YouTube Premium. I'm not paying
In his
for
paper,
nothing.
Bostrom lays out 3 propositions of which he argues at least one must be true. Proposition 1 is that all technological civilizations collapse or go extinct prior to reaching technological maturity. Proposition 2 is that
we wipe ourselves out. Proposition 1, we wipe ourselves out before we start a simulation.
That civilizations can reach technological maturity, but for some reason they never create the kind of simulations which could resemble our world.
That's the people aren't playing games proposition. People are just too bored. They don't feel like doing it. We can do it, but we're not gonna. Why do we want a simulation?
If we reject either of these 2 propositions, Bostrom argues that we must accept his third, final proposition, that we are almost...
He's talking about when I go next on the meme part. Maybe he doesn't like this topic. I don't know.
Certainly living in a simulation. We will explore this striking possibility as well as its far-reaching implications, but to get a better sense of its likelihood, we'll first take a closer look at the other 2 propositions. Proposition 1, the Great Filter. The first proposition is that civilizations can never acquire technological maturity, and so never get a chance to create ancestor simulations.
We blow ourselves up before we get that far. I'm going with proposition 1. We're going to get wiped out before we make a simulation. God's like, I'm the only one that gets to have a simulation. Bring on the pillar fire.
Initially, this suggestion seems...
I'm not pro simulation. I don't think we're in a simulation. I just think it's interesting. Like we could be. And this ties into all books have the same author conspiracy theory. We're not going to watch that whole documentary. We only got 20 minutes. We don't need to watch all that. I've covered most of that. All books have the same author conspiracy theory. The idea is that it's basically tied in with simulation theory, because it's saying that every book that you've never opened doesn't actually have words in it. When you go to the library and you see all the books, there's really not writing in all of them. There's only writing in the ones that you open. And the simulation already knew that you were going to open that book. So when you open it, there's writing in it. But the simulation knew you weren't going to open that book over there. So there's no writing in it. This also ties in with solipsism, the idea that nobody else is real. Because if I'm in a simulation, then we could be hooked up on a big network. And so you could be real, but you could also be fake. Like it could be like the Truman Show where I'm the only real person. So we get a little bit of solipsism in here. We've talked about solipsism before. We get a little bit of the observer effect, which ties in with quantum physics and quantum waves and interference. Interference. What are they called? In physics, the observer effect is the disturbance of an observed system by the act of observation. This is the double slit experiment where particles act differently whether we're observing them or not. They can be particles or they can be waves, depending on if there's an observer or not. And this is the video game camera thing. Like everything we're observing is different in essence than what we're not observing. Also ties in with Schrodinger's cat. The cat is alive and dead at the same time if it's in the box and we're not observing it. This is often the result of utilizing instruments that by necessity alter the state of what they measure in some manner. A common example is checking the pressure on an automobile tire, which causes some of the air to escape, thereby changing the amount of pressure one observes. Similarly, seeing non-luminous objects requires light hitting the object to cause it to reflect that light. While the effects of observation are often negligible, the object still experiences a change when we're observing it. And this leads to the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment. This effect can be found in many domains of physics, but can usually be reduced to insignificance by using different instruments of observation techniques. A notable example of the observer effect appears in quantum mechanics as demonstrated by the double slit experiment. See, so this ties in with everything. Simulation argument. This is from some papers. Innocent loss. This is just a bunch of papers written on it. Those who believe suitably programmed computers could enjoy conscious experience of the sort we enjoy must accept the possibility that their own experience is being generated as part of a computerized simulation. It would be a mistake to dismiss this as just one more radical skeptical possibility. For as Boston has recently noted, if advances in computer technology were to continue at close to present rates, there would be a strong probability that we're each living in a computer simulation. A bunch of papers have been written on this. Simulation typology and termination risk, correcting errors in the Bostrom, Kuhl-Kazik simulation arguments, ancestor simulations and the danger of simulation probes, simulation argument reconsidered by Keith Harris, the Garden of Simulated Delights by Daniel Story. These are all just a whole collection of papers that have been written on this. Are We Living in a Computer Simulation by Nick Bostrom. He's written a lot on it. Anthony Bruckner, Alastair Richmond has written a lot on it. So lots of writing on this, lots of people thinking about this. I already mentioned that it's in a bunch of movies. I tried to look for a list of scientists who believe in simulation, but Nick Bostrom, Melvin Vopson, Elon Musk. I don't know if I'd consider Elon Musk a scientist, but Musk has stated that he believes the odds we are living in base reality are 1 in billions. He has also said that if you assume any rate of improvement, games will eventually be indistinguishable from reality. Yeah. We're going to be in the pods. We're going to be eating the bugs. In the pods, eating the bugs. There was something else I wanted to look up. Bootstrap theory. I heard someone mention this in a video. Bootstrap theory. There are multiple matches for bootstrap theory. Bootstrap fallacy. Self-levitation doesn't work. Bootstrap fallacy asserts that not only must you self-levitate successfully, but what? Sorry, there's multiple. Is this a quantum thing? Simulation. Bootstrap modal simulation. Modal bootstrap. Use bootstrap. I thought I had a page pulled up, but I don't have it. Somebody mentioned bootstrap theory. The idea that people can pull themselves up by their bootstraps, that's not what I'm talking about. Bootstrap statistical theory. I can't find it now. Anyway, what's the point of binding a book with blank pages, though? Well, the point is the book's not really there. Oh, this also, apparently in quantum physics, information can never be created or destroyed. And so there's this idea that if information goes into a black hole, this is called the black hole paradox problem. If information somehow gets sucked into a black hole, it still continues to exist, but in some parallel universe. So now we're getting into multiverse theory with the double slit experiment and all that stuff. I don't know. This stuff is just wild to me. So in the after party, if anybody wants to talk about simulation theory, we could do it. I could have sworn I had a bootstrap theory in physics. Bootstrap's theory is a physics theory that uses consistency criteria to determine the form of a quantum theory, type of S-matrix theory, and is based on the idea that nature is self-consistent and can't be reduced to fundamental entities. Is this what I'm talking about? Bootstrap model? The term bootstrap model is used for a class of theories that use very general consistency criteria to determine the form of a quantum theory from some assumptions of the spectrum of particles. Nuclear democracy. In the 1960s and 70s, the ever-growing list of strongly interacting particles, mesons, and baryons made it clear to physicists that none of these particles is elementary. Jeffrey Chew and others went so far as to question the distinction between composite and elementary particles, advocating a nuclear democracy in which the idea that some particles were more elementary than others was discarded. Instead, they sought to derive as much information as possible about the strong interaction from plausible assumptions about the S-matrix, which describes what happens when particles of any sort collide, an approach advocated by warning Heisenberg 2 decades later. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for. Let's go back to the documentary for a little bit, and we'll be out of here. Nothing new under the sun. Yep. Yeah, I think that's what the black hole, it's called like the black hole paradox or something like that. This lady was saying if a book flew into the black hole, that all the information in the book would stay in a parallel universe. Something like that.
It's unlikely. After all, we live in a universe of hundreds of billions of galaxies.
Maybe black holes are our way out of the simulation. That's kind of like Interstellar.
And countless trillions of star systems, any one of which could be home to a burgeoning technological civilization. What then could prevent any and all civilizations from advancing to this level of technological maturity? At the outset, the idea that any and all civilizations fail to achieve technological maturity seems grossly pessimistic. So why entertain this possibility? One proposed answer is that there simply are no other intelligent civilizations in the universe.
Yeah. Yeah, what's that called? The idea that, who said that? I talked about it before. Somebody said either it's terrifying because either there are advanced races, but we can't find them, or there are none. Option 2. I say there are none.
Proponents of this view draw from a mysterious observation known as the Fermi paradox, that the universe...
The Fermi paradox. This is what I was just thinking about. The apparent contradiction between the lack of evidence for extraterrestrial civilizations and the various high estimates for their probability. So scientists, when they say the Fermi paradox, I always forget that, that there's either like the probability is that there should be aliens, is what they say, but we've not seen any evidence of them. We're seeing billions of light years allegedly into the past, and we see no evidence of them. Maybe they found the Dyson spheres, but probably not. They think they found a black hole, but they don't even know what a black hole is or dark matter or any of this stuff is. Where are the aliens? That's the Fermi paradox. And the idea is maybe the aliens are at another dimension and they're the ones controlling the simulation that we're in, and that's why we don't see them. Because everything's fake. And that's why the universe looks like it mirrors itself. If you go farther and farther out, it starts to mirror itself. Which is why I think the universe, we're actually in a giant mirror ball. So it looks like it's infinite because we're in a mirror ball. But there's an edge to it.
Around us seems oddly silent. Our universe has been habitable for life long before our solar system even formed. It would seem that more than enough time has elapsed in the universe for advanced intelligent civilizations to become an...
You see that? Doesn't that look like a dang mirror ball?
It would seem that more than enough time has elapsed in the universe for...
Like, look. All the galaxies and the stars and whatnot. It's because we're in a dang mirror ball.
Advanced intelligent civilizations to become an obvious presence in our galaxy. And yet we see no signs of burgeoning Type 3 civilizations or their galactic megastructures, the evidence of which, presumably, would be blazoned across our skies. So what explains this eerie silence? One proposed answer is that there are evolutionary stages between inert matter and advanced intelligent life that are so astronomically rare that they prevent all or nearly all life from ascending beyond it. Such stages have been called great filters.
Great filters. Brita filters? The great Brita filters. Get out of here, Ad.
Path of discovery, there awaits a great filter in the form of an advanced technology, so destructive and uncontainable that it annihilates any civilization that discovers it. Some even argue that such a technology has already arrived in the form of nuclear weapons.
They're
Perhaps
not that
all
impressive.
technological civilizations, in their pursuits of an ever greater understanding of physical reality, invariably discover the tremendous energy released by the splitting of the atom. In their subsequent development of this seductive power, they introduce a permanent existential danger that invariably leads to their eventual annihilation. If it is true that this or some other technology poses an assured existential catastrophe, then
that's why we don't see aliens. And that's why we're not in a simulation, because every civilization ends up blowing itself up before it gets to that point.
ancestor simulations might never come into existence. If all intelligent civilizations are doomed to destroy themselves, then the good news is that we probably do live in base reality, the real world. The bad news, however, is that we're probably not far off from destroying ourselves.
Well, it could be 1,000 years. Who knows? Even Jesus doesn't know the day.
But a great filter could also exist behind us, perhaps in the very genesis of life itself. One candidate is the initial forming of reproductive molecules, the RNA, which serves as the
I know there's no life out there.
basis of all biological life on Earth. It has been suggested that as a result of random molecular collisions, the formation of RNA could be astronomically unlikely, in which
DNA is fake, nukes are fake, everything's a simulation.
case, intelligent technological civilizations could be so rare that we could conceivably be the only one in existence. To many, including myself,
that's the
this is an
fine-tuning,
astonishing claim, and we are right to be skeptical. After all, the Great Filter hypothesis was informed by the Fermi paradox, and yet many believe that the Fermi paradox is ultimately misleading. Evidence of other civilizations could be far subtler than we first imagine. Consider that if intelligent life evolves just once in every 10 million galaxies, there would still be thousands of advanced civilizations utterly undetectable by us, yet any number of which could be creating countless simulations. Maybe our descendants will build a matryoshka brain, a stellar megastructure that surrounds the sun and uses its energy to create
That's a Dyson sphere. What's a matryoshka brain? It's a Dyson sphere.
immense computational power. Such structures could conceivably run astronomical numbers of simulations, and yet a matryoshka brain could be all but invisible to its galactic neighbors. The universe, while very ancient from our perspective, is in fact at an extremely early stage in its overall habitability for life.
You don't know that. At some 14 billion years old. Well, I thought the Earth was 16 billion years old.
14 billion years old, the universe will remain habitable for
now they say how old is this video? Because now they say the universe is 3 years ago. Oh yeah, they missed the update. The universe is 44 billion years old now, and the Earth is 16 billion years old. They have to keep adding time because they can't figure stuff out.
For much, much longer.
Because they leave God out of the equation.
Some stars will live for trillions of years, many times the current age of the universe. There will also be many generations of such long-lived stars. Given that intelligent life has emerged at least once at this very early moment in the universe's existence, there would therefore seem a good chance of other civilizations emerging in its vast future. And as this relates to the simulation argument,
this is the red wave idea for the age of the universe, or the red solar heat death or whatever idea.
It matters not that from our perspective, those civilizations could exist in the future, because we could very well be simulations of their ancient past. For our present purposes, all that matters is the possibility of their eventual
I don't know
existence.
anything. That's beta. Know what you know, Master Jim. Know what you know. Don't not know anything.
Proposition 2. No simulations. We'll now move on to Bostrom's second proposition, that civilizations can reach technological maturity, and yet in spite of this...
Dean, that's just something dumb people say to cope. Just because you don't know how to read and do research doesn't mean other people don't. Stop coping. Don't be dumb.
They never author simulations, which could...
You have the internet. You have all of the collection of information and knowledge in the world at your fingertips at all times. It is not smart people's fault that the information age made dumb people dumber.
...resemble our world. As with the first proposition, at first glance, this appears very unlikely indeed. Presumably, simulations would allow their creators to explore a vast range of questions. Scientific, sociological, cosmological, even philosophical. Such simulations would serve as advanced laboratories, probing questions that could well be inconceivable to minds like ours. In many respects, simulations would be the ultimate theory testers, because the architects would have total control over all of the conditions within. Given the vast utility of such simulations, we are left wondering what plausible reasons could prevent civilizations from creating them. One possibility is that simulations of a kind which could resemble our world are impossible. Given the advancing realism of our own simulated worlds, this...
But you have to know that you don't know. So you still know something by knowing that you don't know.
Proposition 2 seems unlikely, so why take it seriously? There are at least two reasons why true ancestor simulations could be impossible. The first reason is that simulating a universe like ours would be computationally impossible.
I know some people like that encouraging ignorance stuff, but not me. Get smart.
Because simulating every fine-grained detail from the level of probabilistic subatomic particles to massive galaxies, would be so computationally expensive that it would be unobtainable for even the most advanced technological civilization.
The system is down.
The physicist Michio Kaku dismisses the simulation hypothesis for
yeah, I watched a lot of his stuff because he's been working close with the James Webb, looking into the past.
this very reason, pointing out that the only information processor which is up to the task of simulating a universe is the universe itself.
Speak for yourself, Dean. Just because you don't know doesn't mean nobody knows.
This objection may or may not be true, but it also overlooks that a convincing simulation would not need to render every detail of the universe.
You should get to where you know that you know that you know that you know. And then you might know.
Rather, only those which are being observed. Distant visible galaxies, for example, could be compressed to just a few bits of information, depending on whether observers are paying attention. Much like in video games, which render objects and scenes only when interacted with by...
Okay, we covered all this. They're just going to repeat the same things I said, but... Hacking Reality, official film? What is this? Maybe we'll watch this in the after party. Quantum gravity research. I don't know about all this quantum stuff. I don't know if I trust it. Hacking Reality.
Let us talk about infinity.
Infinity? There's no such thing as a physical infinite. Yeah. You got to know that you know that you know, not just believe. You got to know. You got to know. All right, guys. Slow show today. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I've been watching The Sopranos a lot. I'm trying to get through it. I think I'm more than halfway into the last season. Every season is 13 episodes. Except the last season is 21 episodes, and I'm on like episode 11 or 12 of the last season. Pretty good show. I like it. Not going to spoil anything, but season 5 was crazy. And I watched 20-year and 25-year cast reunion videos and kind of had some of the endings spoiled. I know that somebody's going to die that is like a long guy in the series. I have a feeling he's going to die because I think I heard them say in the thing that when so-and-so got killed. And I think that's coming up soon. But that's going to be sad when that guy gets killed. And then I think I had the ending spoiled too. Because they asked him a question about what do you think you would do different with the ending. And but I don't think it's going to be a bad ending because like he goes to jail or gets killed or something like that. I think it's going to be a bad ending because it's going to be underwhelming. It's just going to kind of be a cliffhanger. But we'll see. I'm not at the end yet. I haven't seen the ending yet. I'm just speculating. And if you're mad because I'm kind of spoiling something but not really, I don't even know yet if I'm spoiling it. I'm just guessing from what I heard. It's a 25-year-old show, so you don't have any excuses. All right, guys. I got to... Have you gotten to Phil throwing the ice cream out the window? Ice cream out the window. I think so. I think I remember that happening. Let's just say the... how do you say her name? Ariana. That whole character arc with Ariana, that was crazy. With what happened with that was wild. I was pissed off because a lot of times in the show, they'll bring an idea in and then they'll kind of forget about it. And I'm like, remember when they put the lamp in his house with the microphone in it? When the feds put the mic'd up lamp in his house? And then that was a thing for like 2 episodes. And then what happened to the lamp? We go to the next season, no talk of the lamp. And then I think they realized that they had forgot about that because they wrote like 2 lines in where they mentioned it. They're like, well, the daughter took the lamp to college with her. So we don't have the lamp anymore with the microphone in it. And that's all they said about it. And then like a couple episodes later, one of the feds is like, well, the lamp didn't work. And so it was like, she should not have talked. Well, yeah, she should have. Yeah. But, and then so the Ariana thing happens, and then they kind of like leave that for a while. I was like, are they going to come back to this? And they did come back to it. They did mention the lamp, but there are like some things where they introduce something and then they kind of forget about it for a while. Most of the loose ends they've tied up, but some of them are still loose ends. But, all right, guys, I got to get to the gas station. Thank you guys for hanging out. This has been the Dreaded Conservative Show. Monday nights, kicking the week off right. Hey, the world's a crazy place. I just report on it. We'll be back at 10 o'clock, 1 hour from now. I got to go to the gas station. I got to get some food. I got to walk Echo. He got to take a doo-doo. So we're going to go do that. Get a couple more brews. Come back, start up the stream. Watch for the thumbnail. It'll be up shortly. Doing the panel stuff. I got a lot of other news articles that we could talk about. Robots, simulation theory. We can watch more of this Timcast thing if you want. There was a debate between Michael Knowles and this other guy, and the moderator was a joke. Maybe we'll watch some of that if I can find it. What's the guy's name? Joshua Johnson, I think? Or Joseph Joshua or Joseph Johnson, something like that. We'll watch some of that, and I'll be back shortly. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe. All that good stuff. And I'll be back shortly. God bless everybody. Have a good night.